We'd like to take a minute here at Redline Radio LLC to thank all of our great sponsors. Detroit Auto Parts is the official parts store of Redline Radio and home of our original studio. With two convenient locations, one on the east side, you can call 216-531-7373, or on the west side, and that west side location is also the home of Redline Radio Studio number 1. You can call them at 216-398-7373. At either location, mention Redline Radio and get 10% off your purchase. Speaking of sponsors that sponsor stations, Growing Wings Adult Services is the official sponsor of the state-of-the-art Studio number 2. Growing Wings Adult Services has over 7 years experience taking care of adults with disabilities. For more information, contact Lisa today at 234-334-7547. And as testified by all their satisfied customers, Dynatech's diamond saw blades are the fastest cutting, longest lasting. Customer satisfaction is how we measure success at Dynatech, and our engineers are always available to help you troubleshoot and solve a problem on your job site. Dynatech is the only saw blade company recommended by the pavement marking manufacturing industry. They're located in Elyria, Ohio. Dynatech is committed to being the top diamond saw blade company around the world. You can contact Dynatech today at 1-800-466-9001, or you can visit their website at dynatech.com. NASCAR fans, if you're looking at getting specialized past or present NASCAR diecast and model car kits, you reach out to Pit Road Diecast. Bill Rabbits and the team are there for all your diecast needs. Call them today, 216-355-2347. Mention Redline Radio and get $5 off your in-store purchase. Let's not forget about the official merchandise provider of all things Redline Radio. That would be Incredible Keepsakes. T-shirts, cups, binders, keychains, you name it, Incredible Keepsakes can make it. The official merchandise provider for Redline Radio LLC and our show hosts. Call Mike and Diane today at 440-242-9648 or check out all their great merchandise at IncredibleKeepsakes.com. As Diane always says, cherished moments are made to last forever. Let's talk about home improvement. When we talk home improvement, we talk Wiggins Construction and Home Improvement. Bathrooms, kitchens, windows, doors, siding, radio stations, and so much more. Residential or commercial, call Will today, 440-731-7654, and tell him Redline Radio sent you. Bad Juju still remains the official band of Redline Radio LLC, covering all your favorites from the 80s and 90s. To book Bad Juju today, contact Chad Moon at 440-458-0209. Lucy's Pub is where we go when we like to unwind after a busy day. Located at 2218 Broadview Road in Cleveland, Ohio, Michelle and the staff at Lucy's are always committed to giving their guests the best experience. Join them every Friday night for karaoke and, of course, all your hometown sports games. Call them today, 216-675-0013. Stock car racing fan? I am. The premier stock car racing series in Northeast Ohio, Michigan, and Indiana. Redline Radio is proud to sponsor the Ohio Wheelman Series. Still looking for sponsors for 2023? No better way to get your logo out there than on the fastest street stocks in the state. Not to mention, local racers are some of the most loyal people when it comes to supporting local sponsors. Reach out to Will Wiggins today about how you can be a part of the Ohio Wheelman Series. Driveway looking a little rough? Well, we know who to call. ACS, Affordable Concrete Solutions, LLC. Call them today at 440-714-1987 or go to their website, Affordable Concrete Solutions, LLC. You can also email them at Affordable Concrete Solutions, LLC redlineradio@gmail.com. Looking to advertise with a radio station? Get a hold of Dave at Redline Radio at 440-503-0828. And for all of our programming information, check out redlineradiolllc.com. You know what else we got there? A 24-hour live radio station playing all kinds of music all day and all night. You can also check us out on social media at Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, Instagram, and of course, LinkedIn. And if you want to take Redline Radio on the go with you, download the Redline Radio LLC app on the Google Play Store.
Hey man, what happened to you?
Look, let me tell you, I crashed my bike, my arms was dragged and mangled and was torn right off.
Holy smokes, what are you going to do now?
Well, luckily, I have the Get Hurt, Get Paid program from American Income Life.
Oh yeah, why is that?
Well, I was in a hospital for 5 days and they paid me for every day I was there. $600. I got a lump sum check for $3,000 for my lost wages and another check for the loss of my arm. $30,000.
Wow, man. I've never heard of American Income Life.
That's because they're a union benefits company that's now available for everyone. They have income protection for lost wages, mortgage protection, a college education program that I got my son for $100,000, a life insurance plan that if I die in a Lyft, Uber, train, plane, or any other motor carrier, my family is protected financially for up to $300,000. If that's not including the term of a whole life insurance, plus so many other plans to financially secure your family's future. In fact, all my kids are guaranteed insurable for life, no matter what happens in their future. Whether they develop cancer, start smoking, get arrested, or become critically ill.
Wow, they have cancer protection too?
They got cancer protection, whether you get cancer or you don't get cancer. They pay you either way.
That's amazing. How do I get in on that?
Just call my boy GT at AIL at 330-441-2589 or Cindy at 330-416-8264.
For sure, bro. What was that number again?
That's GT at 330-441-2589 and Cindy at 330-416-8264. Make sure you leave a message because if they don't hear from you, then they can't help you.
That's right. I'm going to call right now.
Welcome back, folks. It is the 15th of the 7th month of this year, 2023. And you are here with the livest, the illest team on radio. Well, this is the Redline Radio LLC Media Group. And this is the TMI show on Redline Radio with my man DJ Timbuktu on the ones and twos. And I'm joined by the livest, the illest, the rawest, the hottest, the most intelligent, elegant, melanated, essence dipped team in radio. In radio. It is the TMI show on Redline Radio. Thank you, people. Oh, to the left. To the left. Oh, we going this way? All right. Am I good? All right. I just want to make sure I'm good and the people can see my beautiful face, Adrian's beautiful face, Selena's beautiful face. We got Nick over there. I know it's coming. No, we got Nick over there. I can't say anything about that. We got
my face is lined up, Christy.
The legend Rags face, the beautiful Lisa Josh face, the beautiful Stephanie's face, and Sexy Deli face. All the faces are here. Yeah. So how's everybody doing today?
We're great.
We good. We good. On this rainy day.
Right on. It is a very rainy, stormy day outside.
We dry on the inside.
I didn't get wet.
It is.
Right on. So for anybody that tuned in last week, if you still got your battle gear on your war paint, your Rambo armor, you know,
Trench feet.
you feel me?
My
If
jack steel
if you're still in the trenches with us, last week we had Battle of the Sexes, which was a super dope episode. You know, super dope. Very good, very good. Shout out my man Neil. Shout out Perry on for stopping through last week. Now, if you still got your battle gear on, we're not done. We're still at battle. We're still fighting. They're still, it's still there. You feel me? Still. So this battle,
We ready.
Earl Simmons over here. Looking at me, dog. You feel me? So yeah. Now the battle that we fighting today, and it's really not a battle that we're fighting. It's more like, you know, that it's a communication key that we're trying to work out. In essence of trying to establish where we are moving towards the future, if that makes any sense, right?
Yes.
Does that make sense?
It's that point in the war where we're trying to find some type of negotiation.
Yeah, indeed. Very well said, Deli. Thank you, sir. In this process of our communication circle and panel that I got this live squad here to do, we're going to be having the battle of the generations.
Oh, let's go.
Was that epic or what?
Oh no, that's epic.
That was epic.
It's the TMI show, of course. Of course, it's epic.
You're right there. You're right there.
They not ready.
No,
They're not
never
ready. And so
Welcome to
I
the
want
TMI
everybody to keep that war paint on, you know, keep your grenades, your launches, and everything that you feel that mentally, because your mind is a weapon here at TMI Radio. You know, we all exercise our critical thinking. Caps.
I don't exercise.
Right. Now, Tim, the way I saw you lifting them donuts. Boy, you should. Hey.
You was hitting the reps.
Damn, Nick, you made me proud.
Hey, that was
Hey,
good.
that's what I'm here for, man.
You made me proud.
I'm always here for you, homie.
Boy, he came out.
You can't win with the gun.
He said, "Say hello for my little friend."
He been holding that one in. He was waiting for that one. He was.
He was like, wait. Throw it.
Got it, God, man.
So he's ready for war. Nick is ready for war.
Niggas ready for war.
Tim's ready for war. Lisa, you ready for war?
I just love being here with my squad, man.
Rax, you ready for war? Steph, you ready for war?
Hey.
Dale, you ready for war? Always. Hey, are you ready for war?
Ready.
Selena, you ready for war?
Born ready.
Born ready? Nick,
Hey.
let's get it on.
We don't give a what.
Earl Simmons in the building. Now, before we get into the war, we're gonna go over some.
You're drinking the happy juice. I feel I'm sitting right here with DMX right now.
Hey, man. Hey, that was my homie.
He more like a little Bow Wow. Huh?
You said I got him too.
That's okay. He
So
looking like
good.
Blue's Clues sitting over there, though. You know what I'm
Shout
saying?
out Jermaine Dupri.
Damn, Nick, you was doing so good.
It's
All right,
okay.
I got you, Nick, because
It's cool.
before we get into the war, we're going to go ahead and hit y'all with some local news stories right here from the crazy city of Cleveland, Ohio.
It's always at work.
Apparently. All right, so in our first story, tragically, 9 people were shot on West 6 in a mass shooting in downtown Cleveland. This was, I think, occurred about a week ago. Several people suffered gunshot wounds in the early Sunday morning mass shooting. According to Cleveland police, authorities responded to the shooting on West 6 and the Johnson Court around 2:30 a.m. It was found that a suspect opened fire on a group of people before fleeing the scene. Authorities had arrived to the scene quickly since several officers had already been in the area doing weekly warehouse district detail. 9 victims were transported to Metro Health Medical Center with non-fatal injuries. It only took Cleveland police a few days to track down 25-year-old Jalen Jennings. He was caught 30 miles away from where the shooting took place. U.S. Marshals arrested him and Lorraine on Tuesday afternoon. Court records show lots of criminal convictions in Lorraine and Cuyahoga County, including several instances of drug trafficking and drug possession. Yeah, and there we go. That's where the page is. That's all she wrote right there. That's all she wrote right there. So, with that, take it to the panel one time, you know what I'm saying? Because I was actually surprised that not too many people was, really talking about this as much. I mean, a lot of people was like, "Yeah, there was a shooting on West 6 and 9 people got shot."
It did kind of go.
And total in the city that night.
Yeah.
But see, it's always a lot of stuff going on down there.
Yeah.
Yeah, now is that indicative of the generation, quote unquote, that we're living in now in Cleveland, where there's so much violence in our city, in the world, period? Because like
So close to each
that 9
other.
people getting shot is just like, whatever.
I'm sorry. Number 7 on the top 10.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, you know, if you're cracking the top 10 of the most dangerous, and there's a lot of cities in the United States, if you're cracking the top 10,
Every year.
y'all got goons out there. Y'all doing the most. You know, we you know,
I just say, the crazy part is, we was at 3 at one point. So
yeah.
we was at 3 at one point. So it's like, as much murders as we see, we've actually slowed down on murders. And that's the crazy part.
Give it up for that.
Give it up for going
I
from
mean, it don't
3
make
to
me
7.
proud that we still even on there.
That's progress.
Man, listen, you know how many people didn't die to go from 3 to 7?
No. Here it is.
But
It isn't that we
That's
slowed
whole
down.
generations of families.
No. It isn't that we slowed down. It's that other cities picked up. Because we haven't slowed down. It's just that other cities have outmassed us. But
Oh.
Cleveland as a whole hasn't really slowed down.
So in essence, what that means is we didn't slow down. It's just that everybody else just started killing way more.
Exactly.
All right,
trying to
so
top our-
maybe we want to take that clap back.
I told y'all to hold it.
We gonna clap back.
We gonna clap.
All right, Lisa had the right idea.
Yeah, she didn't clap.
She had the right idea.
She didn't clap.
Man, y'all fool. Yeah, they fooled me. You see how numbers? You see how?
She didn't hold it.
I tried to say something positive about us, Cleveland.
I was trying to be positive. That's the whole thing. We was clapping to the positive, but it was actually we was clapping to a positive negative
I thought about the song.
because
What was the song?
what's that?
Remember that old clapback song by Ja Rule?
Okay.
I said I just thought about the song. I thought about the song. I thought about the song.
All right. So yeah, we all agree that man, it's tragedies taking place all over the place.
I'm thinking the song got to do with killing me.
No, I thought
This
about
man
the
brought
song
up Ja Rule and
Clapback.
clapback.
I was like, wait.
I thought about the
I
song.
thought Nick was about to tell us some information.
No,
we
I
didn't know.
told y'all I thought about the song.
Why did this
Hearing the
happen?
clapback
Yeah,
words.
stumbled upon it.
Ja Rule is not even thinking about clapback.
He might he might still
Ja
be
Rule is
paid
sitting
off for
somewhere
it.
right now. Like,
Leave him alone.
Somebody brought up.
Leave
You
him
know,
alone.
I just got paid.
He on tour right now with Ashanti. Leave him alone.
And then,
Okay, there we go. All right.
in this ministry.
Put it in the middle.
That's what she said.
Oh gosh. Oh gosh.
Right.
Rags heard that part.
We ever talk about Cleveland crime? Rags been quiet as hell. Quiet as hell.
But I'm listening.
I'm
listening.
He's in too.
You heard that part.
He's in too.
I hear everything, but I hear certain things I hear more.
Right on.
Vividly. Yeah.
Well-
You saw that image, huh? You reminded you of a moment in your life, huh?
Well, look, I'm gonna bring up the spirits just a little bit, right? Because yeah, like you got to deal with that over there, Lisa. You got to deal with
I will.
You got to deal with
He said I would do my best. He said do my best. He ain't even give her.
Well, look, I'm gonna bring it up. I'm gonna bring it up a little bit, and our prayers before I move on, our prayers and our thoughts and prayers go out to the families who was affected. You know what I'm saying? That's always affected by the violence here in Cleveland. You know what I'm saying? So you know we want to give a special shout out to those families. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna bring it up a notch. Got to give some birthday shout outs. You know what I'm saying? First birthday shout out, one of our show affiliates. You know what I'm saying? Shout out Candy Baby. Her birthday was yesterday. You know what I'm saying? So happy birthday, Candy Baby Johnson. Belated. Shout out.
Happy birthday
to you. Tomorrow, my baby girl, you know what I'm saying? My daughter, Mahana, her birthday is tomorrow. So she'll be turning 8.
Happy birthday.
Right on. So, birthday celebrate. Birthday shout outs going all the way around. You know what I'm saying? And so, like, you know, cancer season, I wasn't aware.
Crybaby season. Cancer season.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Crybaby season.
I didn't say it.
You had it right. I said crybaby season.
All right, but yeah, so I just want to tell my daughter, you know what I'm saying? I love you. You know what I'm saying? Daddy loves you so much. You know what I'm saying? The day you was born was one of the most blessed days of my life. I cried like a baby.
She lovely.
You know, and I love you so, and I love, yeah, I'm a gentleman. So, oh yeah, we cry. We get it. We cry while we write letters. And
They cry when they angry. They're like, wait, serial killer. Oh, wait a minute.
Now, did you have an ugly cry, B? Did you have an ugly cry?
Do it again, Billy.
I did everything for you.
You gotta wipe the tears away. Wipe the tears.
We don't do that. You get blood. We don't do that. We don't do that. We don't do that. That's Scorpios do that. Scorpios do that.
Scorpio do it.
Drake is a Scorpio, and I don't know if you heard any of his records, but that's exactly what
It's
he's
gonna be
doing.
very cold and silent.
She's even
It's just gonna
listening
get
to it.
dark with me.
Like, no, we don't even hurt one. You ever like, no, I actually do that.
I'm a November 1st Scorpio.
Yes.
We are totally different from any other.
I'm a June
Scorpio.
9th Gemini, so we totally different
You're
from other
November
Gemini.
Scorpio too, right?
16.
Yeah, so y'all still in the same bracket.
First
Yeah, y'all in
deacon.
the bracket.
First deacon.
Y'all in that
And
bracket.
then
Y'all in
are
that
you a
bracket.
moon
Hey,
or a
like, I'm
sun?
sorry, y'all in that bracket, bro.
We seriously don't play.
It's all right. So moving on, and shout out to my baby girl. You know what I'm saying? Daddy love you. Shout out Candy Baby Johnson. You know what I'm saying? The show love you. You know what I'm saying? Happy birthdays. And moving on. And speaking of the wild streets of Cleveland, apparently things got a little bit of, and this apparently made the news. Where we actually had animals running wild in the streets of Cleveland.
Oh yeah,
And I ain't talking about
yeah.
your regular hood deer that you just see outside that be at the store
Nope.
asking for $1.
Nope.
You know what I'm saying? Because you know, like them deer be up there like, hey, bro, can I get an acorn
Or a couple of your
Can I get an
potato
acorn
chips.
one time?
That's no lie. Because
Like, for real.
I
Have your
saw
corned beef
a
sandwich.
deer on 116, like sorting through, like trying to find crack, like
Straight up, like,
Hey, I
we
seen
got a bag in here
like,
somewhere.
right,
I seen a deer. I seen a deer at Mattress Firm. I'm just saying. I seen a deer at Mattress Firm.
Okay.
I seen a deer chewing on a slab of ribs.
Metro.
He
needed a bed. He needed a bed.
Should I build a treehouse?
He trying to find an orthopedic bed.
Right.
He was like, my back's hurting me. I've been running.
No, why was they at the lot? Why was they at the car lot though? Looking like they was trying to jump up in the back of the pickup truck.
And so it's so like, I mean, so apparently like in Cleveland, I mean, we used to so many wild things taking place on a daily basis. Like this made the news because it was just like, you know, it's like, you know, we all needed to laugh a little bit. You know what I'm saying?
Or a lot.
And thank you to this cow.
We finally
We
got
want to
some-
say thank you, cow.
We got
He
some.
sure was laughing at that
Lavaca,
Brown
move.
shouldn't have been over there looking
Lavaca,
at
move.
that cow.
They named him
Lavaca,
Punchy. His name was Punchy.
Move.
And listen,
We
he knew
finally
he
got some Florida news in Cleveland.
Yeah,
Right.
like so getting into the story, you know what I'm saying? A cow was spotted earlier this week or last week running down the streets of it was this week.
Yeah.
Wow, okay. All right. This week. Earlier this week, running down the streets of East Cleveland. You might say the Cleveland Division of Police had a beef. Clever.
somebody
Shout out to Adrian.
Pork and beef.
Had a beef with a particular call they received on Monday evening. Officers were on the scene at East 123rd Street and Oakland Avenue for a report of a loose cow. You heard it right, people, a loose cow.
Yeah.
Officers with the experience dealing with livestock was able to track down the cow in a wooded area of an empty field based on the smell alone. So apparently this cow
Oh,
probably left some manure.
like
You know what I'm
spoiled
saying?
milk.
Yeah, like could have been. The cow had an ear tag that says punch. It turns out that the animal was actually a bull, a male cow, for those that don't know what a bull is, and he was not ready to be caught quite yet. Well, drivers near tried to steer clear. The bull fled on the East 104th Street until the police were finally able to seal him in the fenced area until members of the mounted unit arrived with the trailer. Police also ran the cow's social security number, found out he had several warrants ranging all the way out to Lorain County, and he was wanted for stepping on two chickens. No, it's right there. It's right there.
And he got the nerve to run through EC of all places where they got.
My man was out here wilding. He was on the
They
mission.
would chop you up and sell you, boy.
Oh, I'm sorry. And reportedly they found weapons on the cow. He was packing two Glock 9s and a 40.
And he fled.
He did.
And he responded by saying, "Pistol grip pump in my lap on all times."
He ain't got no lap.
Pistol grip pump on my lap at all times. And
Because the dude was coming over there in the
That's
field.
real.
yeah, so I just want to know, where did this cow come from? Because I haven't seen any farms any close by.
We got his mugshot.
I mean, you know, since,
Oh,
like,
wow.
Oh my God.
I don't know, man. Somebody
Yo.
had to been passing through, and he just decided, hey, I'm gonna just hop out this trailer and go see what Cleveland like.
There is a livestock.
Oh, yeah, I know that guy.
in that area.
You know that guy?
So
You-
it's
You know him?
speculated that
Yeah.
when they brought the
I've seen him
livestock
before.
in, he didn't want to be on the prison bus no more.
He wasn't having it. Like, I know where I'm about to go. I ain't about to be nobody's burger.
Hey, but you know
Ain't about
what?
to be nobody's ribs.
You know what?
Y'all ain't about to serve me at
He was
Whitmore's
so
or Hot
little.
Sauce
I was
Williams.
He was a skinny cow.
He might have been looking for how to come see the TMI show. He might have been trying to come find us.
We first heard the report today.
Until they actually
Caught
caught
him,
him.
yeah.
Been running for 3 days.
He was on the run. Like, he lasted longer than a lot of Cleveland criminals out here.
Hey, look, first of all, my man's gonna have the hardest mix. He gonna have the hardest mixtape out when he gets set free.
Oh, yeah.
Like
What's
his
the
man,
name?
his mixtape is gonna go stupid.
Free dairy.
Yeah,
I got
exactly.
Beat Volume 1.
Free dairy.
I heard he did the remix. He did the remix to
You know what I'm saying?
Oh, that should be his
It's gonna be
name.
USDA.
he did the remix to Luda song.
The DMC, the Dairy Mob Clique, like they out here thugging. Like
He gonna be
You know,
called
he
all
did the Luda
lactose.
song?
nah, what's that?
He said, "Move."
He was the
Deli
move.
been getting joke tips from Nick.
I know. I liked it that
Everybody
way.
laughing now.
Oh man,
Not again.
not
bro.
again.
Yo,
Not again.
I'm sorry, folks. Oh,
I don't know. On a
I'm
more
sorry,
positive
folks.
note, I think he was just trying to. Hey,
No, I did not.
How-
I
how
just
do I
leaned
find a
back and I just
TMI
leaned back too much. For anybody that knows, yes, I'm still nursing the concussion and I have a little vertigo going on. But
Oh, so now you got mad
He
cow,
probably
huh?
watching right now from jail.
hey, he watching right now.
He
from
watching
jail.
right now from jail. He was just trying to
Man, I
find
love
us,
the
man.
show, yo. Like,
You know what I'm saying? Like they support
He like-
me,
Yeah,
man.
and that one dude right there, a vegetarian, so I know he ain't never gonna even. I know he ain't never gonna have beef with me. But he don't even eat meat, man. Shout out to B, man.
Kinda look like you could be his brother, though.
They're willing to pay his bill right now.
Hey, but if he don't make it, I hope I get some of them rib eyes though. It'll be
Did
fresh.
y'all see how little he was?
Man,
How,
look, bro,
like,
you ain't about to
that
have
wasn't
me beef
even-
with all these cows,
He
man.
like, I ain't.
Hey man, they shouldn't be coming to Cleveland, bro.
I don't know if y'all seen this cow.
They was just about to put the needle in.
Nah,
Yeah.
hey, that cow looked like he smoked something. Like, you know,
Yeah,
it's like
he
he was a skinny cow. That,
that was a skinny cow.
That was
wasn't no
lean
cow
beef.
cow.
That was the lean beef.
That
was grass fed.
You feel me? Like,
But y'all, he was running down that hill. He probably already dropped a lot of pounds running down
like
that hill.
yo, my man's was in the middle.
He was in East Stephen. He probably fell in like
He was on
four,
that.
five
Mo-
holes.
he was on that
Hey,
move.
Frank, yeah, he got a twisted ankle. You know, he got a twisted ankle out
That's
there.
why they caught him.
Running on them East Cleveland streets. That man a twisted ankle on one of them potholes.
He got a
With a
ticket
name like
on the red
Punchy.
light camera.
Yeah,
Straight up though,
Yeah.
you can't run more than 15 miles an hour out there.
Out there running off that move.
Yeah,
I
man,
don't
but,
like the way
hey,
that this got me.
I mean, I just need you to know you grabbed it like that. You did. You grabbed it like that.
yo, before my man
I'm
Bros
so
here.
mad at myself because I definitely did. It came so natural. I'm so mad at myself.
Free my,
so natural.
hey, free my
Free
homie
punch.
I was gonna
GS.
say, well, Lisa
Free
is
punchy.
demonstrating me. She is actually
Yeah, free punch, man.
with the same-
Free punch.
Free punch, yo. Shout out, man, my man Punch, man. We gonna get you out, bro. Ain't
Free
nobody,
punch.
and nobody gonna serve you.
Right.
Look, ain't nobody gonna serve you at no barbecue. Ain't nobody about to serve you
What
at
she
Wendy's.
said.
Ain't nobody about to chop you up into no taco meat.
Cow
We
alone.
got you, man. Shout
Is
out
that
Punch, man.
is that the Chick-fil-A mascot?
Shout out Punch, man. No,
Man, wow.
no, he was black. He was a black cow, man. Shout out Punch,
Chick-fil-A is
man.
black and
You
white.
can't
He
hold
a
a good.
black cow. He not never getting out.
You can't hold a black cow
They
down.
said to send him
man.
to life. We
can't
don't
hold
even
a
know
good
what his
black
crime
cow
was,
down.
but we know he gone.
Shout out
We
Punch,
gonna
man.
get Punch out though.
We gonna get Punch out,
We're
man.
gonna start a GoFundMe for Punch.
That's one battle.
They
That,
talk about
that's one
The
battle that
cow,
we gonna.
cow.
Yeah, I think he locked up in EC right now.
That old man shouldn't have been
He
on
got
the
assault
bike.
charge too.
He shouldn't have been out there. He know his
aggravated assault because
Man,
he used his
that
horn
wasn't
to
his
do
fault.
it.
Yo, punch, bro. What you doing out here, man?
What is you doing in Cleveland, Punch? Just
That
why?
old man.
You can watch us from every. You can watch us.
And maybe he would have had a chance.
Yeah, that dropped. He dropped that head.
That's
He
why they
went
trying
all
to.
in with that.
That's why they trying to throw that conspiracy charge on him too, because he
yeah.
looked at him first before
He
he
did.
started
He
charging.
looked at him. Well,
He was
sized
trying
him
to
up
head
for a
to the
minute.
west.
He
He was
waited
trying to
till-
head to the
And
west.
he let him get close enough where he knew the impact was gonna matter.
Right. All right. Hey, well, look, Punch, man, we're going to keep on fighting the good battle for you, bro. But while we fighting that battle, we about to get into the battle of today. The battle of now, the past, the present, and the future. When we talk about generations, we talking about not just 10 years ago. We talking generations. We talking about 100 years ago, 1,000 years ago. Society, mankind's history overall. And when we talking generations, we talking the present and how we moving towards the future. Because, like, honestly, what is the point of living if we're not preparing for the future? If we're not giving our babies and our future grandbabies and our future great grandbabies.
No, we put no grandbabies on us yet. We ain't ready for that.
You said what?
Close to it.
Yeah.
You know it might happen one day.
I am too young to be a grandma.
Y'all closer to it than I am.
Ooh,
Well,
I'm only 30.
Oh, you set us up for that.
I
That
did.
was good.
You
caught that.
You set us up for that.
All right. Well, let me refresh this then. There we go. Let me refresh this then.
Yeah.
All right. So, in the Lou, when we talking generations for our future generations,
You drunk.
for the next generation of children, for the generation after that, why are we here? What are we establishing as a society for you? What do we establish as a society for ourselves? What was established as a society for the past, for our parents and our grandparents and the people that preceded us on this planet? We're about to get into that. We're about to dive into that. We're about to speak on it. We're about to communicate about it. We're about to go to battle about it. You understand? Oh, I did not bring my gavel today.
I'll be letting the world know that he be gabbling us.
I gavel everybody on this team.
Oh, wait a minute. Hold up.
What?
Wait, what I just missed? What?
No.
You told him that he got that
Don't
gavel.
say that, bro. Don't say it like that.
No.
Everybody on the squad has gotten the gavel from me.
Man, you sound like Diddy right now. I got with everybody.
No,
on my team.
bro.
Yeah, not a
If
word
your
knows-
dream felt
not
a little
word
bit
knows
too
our
real,
pain.
I mean, no,
So go see this nigga D in the camera like,
Exactly. That part.
Hey, now it's an actual gavel.
give me some
No,
breast
Lisa made
milk, like.
yesterday and saw what the gavel was for yesterday.
Oh, the gavel. Yes, yeah. It's a different gavel.
Oh no! Do not give him no
We don't
ideas.
need that.
Please
Do
don't.
not give
All
him
we
no
gonna see is
ideas.
this all night.
Hey, Tim, we're going to rewind this tape later so I can get some ideas. Thank you.
No.
You say you don't watch your show back?
I do, but I'm going to watch this in particular so I can get some new ideas.
I'm guilty. I only
Some
watch
ideas.
some shows.
I don't like the way he smiled.
I watch playbacks like a coach, like
I don't
Phil
like
Jackson.
I don't like the way he smiled when he said that. He got
Remember we
some.
said that last week. We did not
Definitely
want to
got
hear
some
them
up his
play back.
sleeve.
I don't want to hear that.
Right. You saw all. That's the first time I ever saw all your teeth when you smiled. That's how I don't trust you.
I look like shark.
Like I saw ideas. I'm like,
on his side.
You know what?
Britain always smiling.
Hey,
no.
You know what?
Always smiling.
No. It's
No.
cool because actually I do not like smiling. So I appreciate y'all giving me the
Lisa
room.
said, she said
No,
she
it was
herself.
very tricky.
She said,
No.
do not put her there.
Oh, thank
She
you.
said,
Oh, thank
she
you.
said,
And I
do not
said-
do
I
it.
love your smile
And the
too.
thing
Like,
is, he always smiles. Britain always
What?
smiles.
What?
Whatever.
yeah,
What I
literally
say had to
always
do with
smile.
her?
But see, niggas not used to seeing me smile because he always pisses me off.
Well, okay.
Yeah, that nigga came already.
That just sounds like a personal problem. I don't know.
No,
I don't make much
laughing.
contact with him.
Hey,
So
this
if he
is-
got a secret
no,
problem with me,
we
he gotta
joke,
let
we
me know
joke,
now.
man. Nigga's my brother, man. That's my bro, man.
Nah, Miss Bro. See,
No, we'll talk about this after the show. Yeah, you right. You right.
I was about to say his little pointer thing is up.
just drink your water. You only 30. Stay over there.
I'm like, wait, it wasn't me. Hold on.
And just to let y'all know, our battle of the TMI show is brought to you by TMI Entertainment Productions, and it's also sponsored by American Income Life Insurance. So if you need some films made, if you're down to get into some film, if you want to work with some great people inside the film industry, guess what?
We here.
TMI Entertainment Productions is here. We specialize in music. We specialize in video production. We specialize in script writing.
And if you're being chased by a cow.
Go to East Cleveland.
if you somebody and if you somebody honestly, and you know you looking at your life, you got kids and you got your spouse, and you're like, yo, I ride this motorcycle, or I like to go whitewater rafting, or I like to use chainsaws a lot without, you know what I'm saying, no type of protection on my other arm. Man. You know what I mean? Like anything can happen in life. No. I'm just saying anything can happen in life. You got to be prepared for that. You know what I'm saying? Your family has to be prepared for that. And the best way you can prepare your family for that and do the right thing in that, if you live, especially if you live in a risky lifestyle, if you out here, you know, but if you live in life, period. If you live in life, period, you never know what can happen. You want to get you some life insurance, right? But the life insurance that you want to get. See. I don't even know what I'm saying. See too, but it got y'all attention.
Because Mick, you missing that Tim Q got us mad with these mics.
All right, focus on the life insurance, and then what happened was.
Hold up. I got a question about.
Hold on.
I think he's gonna be in the insurance when we get done fixing these mics.
That part right there.
Man, listen.
So it's time to commercial.
And for real, ain't even nothing wrong with the mics. Tim is literally having fun with this.
I said that. Tim is having fun with this.
That's why you did this.
He's gonna watch this over and over again. Like, oh yeah, she's turning it that way.
Look,
It's slow-mo.
He like to know that way.
But-
Bring it back this way.
That's the he played with the mic longer, but I'm gonna mind my business.
He definitely did.
But here's the thing,
He
though.
definitely did.
In those cases, even if you're playing with the mic and you get electrocuted,
If you
you
play
want
with
to
the
make
mic too
sure.
long,
Wait a minute. Can you take out an insurance policy on somebody else? And if they mistake insurance policy,
We're not going to get into that.
We're not
going to get it.
on
We're not
the
going to
air.
get it. Not on the air, Deli. That's,
Insurance policy.
Deli was ready.
bro, you a snitch so quick. Like we are literally on air. Like, why are we so? Man, listen.
I just wanted to know.
American Income Life Insurance.
It was
people.
hypothetical.
I literally. these are outlaws. You know what I'm saying? I apologize for them sometimes. I do. I regress. But if you are living life and you never know what happens and what can happen in life, American Income Life Insurance has your back and will make sure that you and your family are compensated and taken care of just in case life decides to compensate you in a bad way.
Tim, we got comments. What our comments say?
So somebody said punchy. Then Lamel, these some names. I'm just let y'all know.
Emmanuel.
Just do your best. You gotta sound it out like elementary school.
I just gonna say Manny. Shit, we had a mountain lion pull up to the people's homes in Sacramento, California.
Did we?
Wow.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and I'm gonna try her name. It's Torquita. Torquita. She said amen to that.
Amen to that.
And just said, what up, crew? What up, Jess?
What up? All right. So it's time to go to war, people. Now, we've been fighting this battle since the battle started. Like, it literally started at when Cain and Abel was born. Adam and Eve was telling them, hey, that's not good music. Y'all need to listen to this. That was been going. Like,
I'm kind of 30, so I don't know what he's talking about.
Oh, wow, Lisa. I don't even know what's going
Oh, she's gonna use that a lot this episode.
I drank the right one.
It's
And
gonna-
I'm on my diet, so I can't do it with y'all.
That's totally unfair.
That is totally unfair.
Totally,
That
but
would be all right.
cheat code. All right, so
Time to recoup.
the battle of the generations. Generations. We talking present, past, future. What makes us?
Your grandmas and them.
Right on. What makes this generation? What makes the past generation the past generation? Are we improving as generations? Are we moving towards a better generation? Are we decaying as the generations move on?
I feel like you about to spit on the track. Right.
Hey, drop that beat. Y'all ain't know. No.
We the greatest.
They say they got 6 what on the loose? I can't see.
Wait, what?
Chickens on the loose. It was some six.
Oh, they do. They did say it's 6.
Shout out Noah
They said
and the
it was
ark.
some chickens.
And it's been
Hey, that could be real.
And it's raining.
raining.
And maybe Punch knew something we didn't. But all right, so in this generation battles is like we have to understand like it's really not a fight. It's really an understanding of who we are as a people and the historical sense of things. You know, when it comes down to relationships, when it comes down to communication, when it comes down to how we deal with each other as people, when it comes down to love, when it comes down to family, when it comes down to marriage, when it comes down to music, entertainment. We're all trying to define what is the ideal peak of humanity in a way through these conversations. What is the ideal peak? Which generation can mankind say, you know what, that's when we had it right? Or we could take different pieces from each generation and make a better future. You understand? Mm-hmm. So now this is the conversation that we're going to have. So the first question that I'm going to pose to the team, and I'm going to cut it to one of the queens of the show, because we're surrounded by so many awesome queens of the show.
Beautiful queens.
First of all, this right here is for me as a king. I consider myself to be sitting on the team with. We got Uncle Rags, who you could consider is from a past generation. I appreciate and I blessed him, and I'm blessed to have him in my life, because as a mentor, as somebody of guidance of wisdom, he could give me a keen sense of past times where, hey, you don't have to make the same mistakes, or these are the things that were done right, and you could literally take and parcel these pieces to shape a better future. And I appreciate his wisdom in regards to that fact of being a brother and in life. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
For sure. And I'm also blessed to have somebody that's
30.
Exactly.
Two. We got
two. And so in regards to that, and appreciating because I'm 38, so I would say a step. We could go generations by the decade, right? So now we have a peek into a younger generation 10 years prior to even what my generation has experienced, right? And then we got.
You were going to say, don't do that. Don't do that.
And then we got other generations, right?
Do it.
We got other ones, right? Because Dell is 30 as well. You know what I'm saying?
No, you cut it there.
I'm really 1,050.
Cut it there. And then we got some we got some beautiful queens.
Yeah, so we're gonna cut it.
Yeah, we're gonna cut it there.
That's ageless and priceless and timeless. You know what I'm saying? So that's how we're gonna keep that right there, right? That's how we're gonna keep that. Just timeless, ageless classics.
I can tell he really want to go into something different.
by saying classics.
He wanted to. He wanted to. Timeless. We see where you going there.
No, I was just using outstanding vernacular. That's all I was doing.
He made sure he pointed out Lisa's youth, and then the rest of us are timeless classics.
Like that,
man, oh man.
Yeah.
I'm the oldest person.
Priceless rare jewels.
They say diamonds never age.
But so
that's what we're going with.
So I'm gonna turn it over to one of the queens. You know what I'm saying? Other show, Adrian. And shout out Adrian as show producer. You do a lot of good work. You know what I'm saying? Putting these shows together. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Shout out the team too, because I don't do it alone. They definitely, when I ask, they answer.
Listen, this team right here is extremely outstanding. You know what I'm saying? Shout out everybody for what they do on the squad, and that's how, because we do a lot of work to bring y'all good shows. So.
Thank you.
Right on. So
shout out to social media, because when we asked, y'all answered too, and y'all answered.
And we will be reading some of our questions that we posted. We will be reading some of y'all responses right here on the show. So make sure y'all stay tuned. That's going to be taking place in our second hour. So go ahead, take it away, A.
Okay, which generation values marriage more and believes in the sainthood of marriage?
Man, you just cut right into it.
Yeah, we did. Like, what's the? Oh, you wanted me to give an intro?
Free for all.
Because I thought you gave an intro. I was under the impression that he gave the intro.
I gave an intro for you.
To answer the question.
No, we're gonna go around.
I gave an intro for you.
Okay. Okay. So how we're gonna do this?
We're going by decades.
Yeah.
No, so
it's really a free.
Because I don't really know the names.
It's really a free form, so it's just a chance for y'all to give y'all opinion, a short opinion. No, we're gonna keep it like we did last week.
No, I mean as far as
youngest to the oldest.
Well, some of these you don't even gotta do it. If you like,
yeah.
I mean the youngest.
You don't need decades.
No, we ain't gonna do it like that, Lisa. We ain't gonna do it like that. Because I want people to identify themselves in their age.
So basically,
what generations?
So basically, how we're gonna do it is, the questions were put out on social media, so we have social media's answers, and we also want to get our answers. Yeah. And it's just based on your own opinion, because there's no right or wrong answer for this.
It's not a wrong or right answer. It's your answer.
But this is what I'm asking. Like, are we saying like Generation X,
Yes, we
Generation
talk.
Z,
So this
baby
is
boomers?
the battle of the generations.
Yeah, which generation
So we're
do
talking
you feel
about-
values
We're
matter?
talking about the 60s, the 70s, the 80s, the 90s, the millennium, the Generation X, the new generations.
All of them.
Yeah. So we it's your opinion of who you think
I just gotta
Did it the
refresh
best?
myself
Which
on the
generation
names
you
of the
think had-
did it the
generations.
best or did it the worst, or had
Right
the
on.
most impact or had the least impact. Is really your opinion, and it's just like how you the battle of the generations is basically saying who do you think is having the most impact on America today, and who do you think had the best impact on America overall?
Okay,
Yeah.
I got a
Or
question.
mankind or whatever.
Okay, so wait, let me repeat
Okay.
the question again.
Okay, yeah, bring that back.
We're taking it around the table, so everybody
All right.
keep. Which generation values marriage more and believes in the sainthood of marriage? Let's keep it short and sweet and starting with you.
I would say back in like the 70s in that time, because it was all about, you know, foundation and family and, you know, people really sticking together. So
I would say like the 1920s, because that's when a lot of people were like going to war and going to the military and going and splitting up, like where they had to understand like family roles and I'll wait for you, Johnny. You know,
I didn't know you was going all the way back.
Like,
Boo.
you know what I'm saying?
I didn't know we was going that far.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Go ahead.
That was
Keep going.
Hold
Keep
on.
going.
Johnny.
Because if you think back in the war, a lot of people's name was Johnny.
right.
Dear John is a thing.
They were all so dreamy with his
That
dark
was a
hair.
movie.
But yeah, so I just believe that like back then that's kind of where it started, where they believed in it and they were wholesome and they knew their role and they knew what they were supposed to do. They knew when their husband or man came back from wherever, however long he was gone, however messed up he might be, they're still gonna make it work because I love you. You know,
Pretty
so-
much. I feel that.
Are we allowed to ask questions in between?
Yes.
Sure.
Are you sure they waited for Johnny?
No, not positive.
You don't know. Yeah, like exactly. Like, no, they ain't waiting for Johnny, and Johnny ain't waiting for her either.
They waited for Johnny. Every movie
Johnny
you
got
saw,
a
they
little
waited for
son
Johnny.
overseas named Ricky over there.
Johnny
Like,
been gone for 2 years, but he come home and he got a 6 week old son.
We were just talking about the marriage part. Like now he ready.
Here's Johnny.
He done went out and did all that and came back like, oh, great. He's ready to marry you.
Ladies, we gotta do our. We gotta get something.
Yeah, she was married. She was ready to marry Johnny. All right.
They be out there.
When y'all hear what I gotta say when they come around to me, it's gonna
Wait, so before,
Okay.
Brandon and Stephanie actually gave they I feel like we be left out of something.
I do too.
y'all go find out.
oh yeah. All right, for sure.
Brandon,
I see you, B. I
Oh,
see
snap.
you.
Brandon and Stephanie.
That's my dog. Go ahead.
I'm about to use your gavel against you.
Don't use it, please.
Brandon and Stephanie, y'all actually gave y'all answers.
Did we?
So I'm gonna read y'all answers and I'm gonna ask y'all if y'all say to it. I'm gonna save my answer, my opinion for last, just because I want to read people's opinions after with mine. But yours, Brandon, you said none. I feel like, huh? You might like
Right.
it. Yeah. They ain't mine when I was
It's
using
not a
it.
mic. It's
When
not
I
a
was
mic.
using it, they ain't mine when I was using it to turn the mic, did they?
It's not a mic.
They was fine here, weren't they? It was like, oh yeah, okay.
Do it again.
You gotta adjust your mic a little bit, Mary.
And they go in the dark
Just
too.
fooling.
Score.
No.
But welcome to the TMI show.
Yo.
Shut up. No, this is why I gotta sit down now because the stuff I say on radio.
Talk about bioluminescent hand jobs.
Nah, okay, baby, you said
What's your answers?
we said. Did you not just hear me get? Everybody heard me
He
hear that.
didn't listen.
I didn't
Oh,
listen.
okay.
I will admit, I am honest.
We'll have a talk. We'll have a talk after the show.
Yes,
Uh-oh.
we might have to find you.
Score.
Okay, Brandon Bell, you said none. Laugh out loud. It's all been individually respected amongst couples. Is that still your opinion?
That is exactly what my opinion is and what it will always will be. It was never like it's all about individuals who respect it, because at any point in time You had people that would like the sanctity of marriage goes deeper to because it's just not cheating because you had relationships where they were staying together, but there was domestic violence. You feel me? There was, you know what I'm saying? It was not being able to open up. It was bad communication. You feel me? And so there was the way I look at it is just like this. It's even individual on how you look on what is the sanctity of respecting marriage. You feel me? Because every couple got different standards and rules for what they do. You know what I'm saying? So if they doing what they do and they happy, then yeah. Now, do I think that's it? And do I even think that's a large percentage of the marriages? No. You know what I'm saying? A lot of marriages are, because there's a high divorce rate and even back in the day, I think it would have been a higher divorce rate if people, even were able to take those routes. But I think it's literally all individual based on relationships.
Deli?
I would say the people that seemed like they had it closer to respecting the sanctity of marriage was around in the 60s or 70s, in my opinion, because they actually, even if they was going through the same stuff that we still going through now, they still respected the vows that they took to uphold. And it wasn't just so easy for them to just give up on it no matter what was going on.
That was the era of free love.
I mean,
So
but
maybe
people were
that's what
still
worked.
married. You feel like maybe that
But wouldn't this be the era of free love too?
No.
This is freaky love.
It's free lust.
This is the free lust era.
Fake
This the
love.
free
It's
lust.
not free. It's fake love. This one.
You can say that too. Right on. Steph?
What was my answer?
Your answer was that your parents' generation was the generation of love. Marriage.
It's hard. I want to say grandparents. I want to say my parents. Just off the fact my grandparents, everybody is from the South, Alabama. The
I knew
sticks.
that was where he was going.
So, as far as the values and the sainthood, all the way, they stuck it out no matter what. So that's short and simple.
Lisa. Don't do it.
Oh.
Don't do it. Don't
She
do
about to
it.
burst.
Don't do it.
She got it loaded in the gun.
I need water so
We
much.
heard
I'm
the
so anxious for a fucking commercial break. Please don't do it. I need water so bad.
Because you ain't got to do it.
Don't do it.
Do it, Lisa.
You ain't got to actually
I
pull
give
the trigger.
y'all a whole month or so to record.
You did, but listen, we heavy right now.
Brenda's scared.
I'm always heavy.
I want to hear this. I want to hear this.
That you are.
Y'all get on my nerves. Hey.
I done forgot what we was talking
She
about.
said, "Come be her blanket." Hey.
I'm too small to be anybody's blanket.
Because
I'm
the
like,
comforter they wrap around
bed
you,
rail.
it melts into
keep
it.
you from falling off.
It's women that do stuff to bed rails too,
I'm gonna
Deli.
keep you from falling off the bed.
Deli, they do stuff to bed
I
rails
ain't
too,
big
homie.
enough to be the head of the footboard. I'm the bed rail.
Come on, listen. Let's hear. Let's get this out the way.
Well, do I feel like the generation?
She is scared.
Into the mic. Into the mic.
My bad.
Kiss the
Is this
mic.
better?
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. That's
Put your mouth closer to it.
Welcome to the TMI show, y'all. Just in case y'all didn't know, this is TMI show.
Hey, you make it very satisfied the way you
Very unsatisfying.
adjusting your mic.
Welcome back.
He been waiting for you to come back for this
Welcome
moment.
back.
He has been missing you because he been waiting for this
I'll
moment.
do it.
He was look when he found out. He said, "Oh, Lisa's coming."
Every time he touches that mic, they're sitting right next to him. Yeah. Make sure it's adjusted the right way. Right next to your mouth. Yeah.
That's why I had to move it closer.
So she can touch the mic, okay?
Yes.
Because that's what the mic is supposed to be for. For her to touch it, not him.
You saw what Jill Scott did to the microphone.
You're right. She was like,
And I love Jill Scott ever since I saw that.
That's why y'all. This was supposed to energy y'all was supposed to bring last week, man.
All right, here we go.
All right, go ahead, Lisa. Your answer.
Never mind my uncle.
It's okay.
Never mind my uncle.
I didn't mean to make you cry, baby. I'm sorry.
Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back.
It's a different meaning when it's talking about being on a rag now, huh?
Let's welcome Lisa back,
But they
y'all,
talked about me
'cause we
singing
did not
Ja
do
Rule.
that. We did not do
And they
that.
singing Mace.
Well, let's welcome Lisa back.
Yeah, hold up. Yeah,
Yes.
before we continue,
Let's
and
welcome
before you
Lisa back.
continue speaking, we have to welcome Lisa Job back. Everybody, big round of applause. What a show. You know what I'm saying? Lisa, like I consider her. She like as far as like, yeah, she's like she's a made member. You know what I'm saying? She's a made guy. She's a capo. She's one of our. She's
She
one
make
of
sure we gonna laugh.
She's one of our heavy hitters in a very
She
Seinfeld
make
way.
sure
'Cause
she
it's
gonna
a-
keep Nick in
she
place.
slotted right in there.
No, she ain't got nothing. Why did y'all put me in that?
Nick
ain't got
like
nothing to do
I've
with
been
that.
smooth selling this last.
Right, I ain't got
month
nothing
and
to do with
a half.
that.
Don't do that.
We ain't gonna do it. We ain't gonna do it.
Right.
But go ahead, Lisa.
But
Go
anyway,
ahead. Go ahead.
proceed.
We need to know. The world needs to know. How does Lisa Job feel? Yeah, the world.
They got rags.
Into
They
the
got
mic.
rags. They got
Ready.
rags.
But I ain't touching it. Is this good?
She said, "Look, my
I don't usually touch the mic anyway. So.
There you go. Brown woman shit. Brown woman shit.
oh man."
I gotta stop. Can y'all please stop?
I just got aid in my ear.
Conversation.
I literally just got aid in my
I
ear.
keep getting in trouble.
You got what in
She
your
said,
I
"Look,
got
ma,
AIDS.
no hands."
When did he ask us yesterday while we started doing?
Yes.
I don't even know how you spell that.
She
But
did
go
it
ahead,
twice,
Lisa.
so now you got A's in your ear.
And it hurts. My head hurts so bad.
Oh my gosh,
She
we gonna
asked me
lose
and Selena
topics.
yesterday,
Oh my
like, how do
gosh,
y'all
with all
spell
this
it? Like,
buffoonery.
Lisa answer.
We gotta get Lisa's answer. I just want to know that just happened to me.
I'm
floor
trying
is
to
all
avoid it because
yours.
I'm afraid that she's gonna say I'm gonna say it.
Hey, the floor is
There you
all
go.
Lisa's.
Lisa.
No. The floor is
Don't
yours,
tell me
Lisa. My head hurts.
Look,
Go ahead.
Let's go ahead.
Go ahead. Talking to the mic.
Get a little closer, baby.
Do it for rags.
Bless the mic.
I ain't blessed the mic in a long time. I choose.
He like, I've been around a long
I'm
time.
sorry. You got a schoolboy thing going
Wait a
All right,
minute.
go
Back
ahead,
on,
Lisa.
back on
We gotta let
task.
Lisa talk. We gotta let Lisa
It
talk.
wasn't
Go
simple for
ahead.
Lisa to come back to bring
Right.
out Uncle Ray.
Because she gonna feel like we set her up. She gonna feel like that.
We did not.
We did not set you
We
up with
did
this.
not.
It's not happening.
We did not. We did
That's
not
all
know
right.
this was going on.
Who is laughing?
She looking at rags.
on timeout. Like,
Right, put them all on timeout. Go ahead, Lisa. You
got
speaking will only stop this. Go
I'm gonna
ahead.
stop looking at
no, it's not.
Lisa, go.
Every time I say something,
You talking now? Just say what you gotta say.
Lisa, just turn your head a little bit.
I can see him out the peripheral and on
I said I was gonna block you, but the camera still showing.
Oh my
And
God.
he just sitting there like,
We supposed to be at war here, and this supposed to be a battle, man. This is hilarious.
We are losing.
it's her generation. Okay. So, no, I'm just playing that.
No, it's Uncle Ray.
I love y'all,
Uncle Ray
yeah.
is doing this.
They can't focus.
This, that
I
his,
see what his generation
it's,
like.
yeah, it's the generation of the pimp. That's what he's doing.
Oh yeah, Rags, you gonna have to turn your chair so she can talk. You gotta turn your chair. You gotta look the other way. Yeah. All right. Yeah. Thank you.
That's not going to work. Did you see the profile? Look at the profile again.
Even the profile picture.
Yeah, that's a statue right there.
He was getting
Distinguished.
It runs in the family.
It's gonna be the new cover of
It
the
runs in
Quarter.
the family.
And who's having it?
That's my aunt. That's aunt.
That's
That's aunt.
okay. Just answer the
Yeah,
question.
go ahead and answer the
Now
question.
we're
You trying
going
to change?
all
You
off
trying to?
topic.
Yeah, come on now. Don't dodge it. Don't dodge it.
Ancestry 23 said.
That's the longest
Y'all
answer
just
ever.
giving y'all time to recuperate because
We good.
I know what's going.
in my
That's why.
We
generation
good.
of being 30,
I knew
I'm
it was
really
coming.
not sure because
I'm writing that's a long comment.
That's why that's her way of saying
No,
I'm
no,
only
no.
30.
Lisa, go with your answer. Forget that comment right now. We'll read that later. Come on now. Yeah.
I already took my
I'm
seat.
30. No, you going? No. I'm not gonna have it. I'm not gonna do that.
Well, if she
Let me-
being
can I
honest,
Okay.
finish? You
if
told
she
me to
being
say what I
honest, her
gotta
generation
say.
don't get married a lot, so she's actually being honest in that forefront. If we gonna be honest, her generation does not get married a lot, so she's
Damn.
really.
Hold on.
That's good.
It's hard to find. It's hard to find.
Shut up.
Really
You catching my
Sorry,
The faces.
Find yours.
I lost it and I stopped looking for it.
We're not gonna act like
I don't
this
even
and
care.
say though that she only 30 inches.
Everybody look. I don't have a hairline. I have like a hair. I have a hair shape. It makes.
You got a shadow.
It does things. It doesn't make a line. All right.
It
so
does.
go ahead.
things.
Uncle Rags.
Uncle Rags.
Made her cry.
You should never go
She's
there.
crying. I am too funny. Last
I
coming off.
think over the
gotta-
years and the
We is not gonna get through this.
We're 6 minutes to commercial.
We ain't even made it through one.
They'd have been mad if this was me.
We ain't making you do all these
They'd have
things.
been mad as hell.
yes.
Me, you red. You all right over there?
I think through the generations, we find that marriages last. Through the generations, it depends. My parents were married for 63 years. That was my second dad. So that's and I think when we determine, our parents show us how to have that marriage. Those were our models. It doesn't necessarily mean if they're divorced. That's one thing, but then those parents, the generations after the parents that are married, that's because of the way their parents carried themselves.
Mm-hmm.
My parents, they carried themselves a certain way. Doesn't mean that I did, but I do have a great respect for that marriage. I am married, so yeah, I'm 20 years.
Right on.
How about you take
Right on. Like that. And me and my wife on the 11th of this month, we just celebrated our 9-year anniversary. So we're a year away from the decade. And
Me and
shout out
Dom
to-
anniversary coming up on the 27th.
Shout out, man. And I do want to shout out my wife. You know what I'm saying? I love you. And here's the thing.
Put a name on it.
Shout out Kendra Bell. You feel me? You know what I'm saying? My baby. That's my
I
friend.
got it.
And the thing is, like, real, like, and the thing is, like, I saw my grandparents, you know what I'm saying? They was married for, you know what I'm saying, over 40 years. You feel me? And so I was basically raised by them. And shout out to my mother. She's actually going to be joining us in the second half of the show. Shout out, moms. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So, via Zoom. And so seeing them and seeing how they worked, through good times, bad times, you know what I'm saying? As a young kid, it inspired me. That's what I wanted. Growing up, I wanted to have the family, you know what I'm saying? And I grew up in a single parent household with my moms, but I had the example of my grandparents, you feel me? And their longevity in marriage. So I was able to see both sides, you feel me? And I didn't want my kids to, grow up with maybe some of the insecurities I grew up with, not, you know what I'm saying, without that, but not saying that happens, and that just happened with me. You feel me? That don't happen with all kids, because it don't matter what kind of households you grow up in, you're gonna grow up in a dope, loving household, depending on the parent. It don't matter if it's two or if it's one. You know what I'm saying? But for me, you know what I'm saying, per se, it was really awesome to see like both sides of the fence. I really respected how hard my mother worked, in order to keep me safe, in order to keep me educated. And I also understood how hard my grandparents worked on their relationship to maintain their family and to maintain their household. So when me and my wife got married, that's the main thing that actually made me want to marry her, is the fact that she had the idea of, and she had the mentality of, no matter what, we, you know what I'm saying, we're going to be able to battle through anything, right? And I had this vision, and this would actually let me know I had this vision, and I was running through before I married. I had this vision of like all the ladies that I dated in the past, where I was with in the past, her, and it was basically like I would run the scenario in my head of like the last day on Earth, like if the zombie apocalypse or something like that happened, which woman would be fighting with me and standing with me. You know what I'm saying? During the worst times, right? And so
That's
I looked
crazy
at
because that's actually one of the questions on here.
crazy, right? And so I looked at the characteristics of all the women I dated, and I've been with a lot. You feel me? But I looked at the characteristics of all the women that I've been with, and the situations and different scenarios I could trust them in. And I'm talking about in the most extreme life and death scenario. You feel me?
You knew it was her.
Can I
Every
Your
single
wife
time.
is watching.
Every
Yeah,
single
let us
time.
know.
You feel me?
Both of them.
You both of them.
Yeah, every single
Wait,
time.
let's
Shout
get
out to the wives.
wait.
Shout out to the
Just because we're about to run out of time, just because we're
Hold
running
on,
out
we
of
still
time.
gotta get
commercial.
Tim.
Yeah, we gotta
Let me
go to
get
commercial.
Tim and me, and then we and some of the audience because I don't want to leave.
Yeah, because we got we got some dope
Yeah.
comments. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Go ahead, Tim. Get yours.
It's kind of tough. I feel like when you say value marriages, the ones that stay along, definitely I would say like my grandparents. So like
Not just value
the
marriage,
40.
value the marriage and the sainthood of it.
Kind of would be like I don't think none of them really did, but like the staying together part for sure, I would give to my, like I said, my grandparents' era, because like they was married for 50 years. That was my example. The people next door to me, the Joneses, they've been married since I can remember. I don't even know how long they is. I'm pretty sure it's 50 for them. My next door neighbor was my cousins, my Uncle Dear, my Aunt Vivian, married until he died, like 50 some years. Like, so what I've
This is your
seen,
Uncle Phil and Vivian.
right? Uncle Dear.
Dear. Oh. But you said Phil. I'm like, you the Fresh Prince?
Right. But you know, that's what I've definitely seen, you know, or been groomed around marriages. But like to look at them, like I don't know if anybody really like kept it together for
And the
them.
generation got it right.
Yeah, like I mean,
because
people,
there's pros and cons in all of them. Because
I feel like people now get married more now than they did back then.
and honestly, I give kudos to this generation because I honestly think this generation has been more honest in what they want as far as out of relationships than past ones. You know, like because and below. Yeah, because here's the thing, a lot of people like, and this is a lot of people don't want to get married like they used to. A lot of people are just more aware and honest about what they really want out of relationships. You know what I'm saying? In the past, you had a lot of, you know, like, hey, you had a lot of down low brothers that was married to women. You know what I'm saying? Like nowadays, it's just easier for cats to just do what they do. You feel me? Like they could do that.
Okay.
But all in all, it's just like with this generation, I think they're a little bit more honest as far as like forthcoming. Is like, yeah, like, hey, you got more cats that could be honest about, hey, look, I date with multiple women. More women are like, yeah, I like women too, and I can date multiple. You know what I'm saying? So that
takes so that's goes. So the question was the sainthood. So the sainthood technically is.
You know what? We're gonna get to that after this commercial
Yeah,
because
because
we
I
gotta pay
didn't
some
get
bills.
to my comment at all because you had
So
three
let's go.
comments.
We did. Let's
Yeah,
go.
no,
Let's
so
go.
you did.
Oh, I did.
Yeah, you
I
had
did.
three comments. Yeah,
Go ahead.
you.
Go ahead. Get your comment
And I
out.
didn't get to today's comments either.
Here, take the mic.
Grab it.
You don't want to grab it?
Put your mic. Speak on it.
Oh yeah, he kind of said, but y'all heard what he was
Just put
going.
it to her mouth.
Just
No,
use your
don't
mouth.
put it to my mouth. Don't.
We're not gonna do
Don't
that.
do that. Don't do that.
I meant put the mic over.
So a lot of our audience said that they feel like their grandparents was who had valued marriage more and valued the sainthood of marriage. Sylvia said she felt like it was her grandparents because they believed until death do us apart, and they really like held that, and regardless of what they went through, even with the. And let's be honest, with cheating and even abuse, and we look at that now like I would never. But
For better or for worse.
our grandparents really believed in for better or worse, and that's what they held on to. And so, like, and she said, like, in her family, she saw all her elders be married and them last to death do us part, and that's really my comment as well because. Of course, y'all know that's my mother. So in my family, I saw my grandparents last until death literally did them part. So for my generation, no, I don't. I see marriage, but I see a lot of divorces as well. But for my grandparents and great grandparents, they really believed in the aspect of till death do us part, and regardless of what I see my grandparents argue, but they never ever talked. Divorce was never even an object.
They stayed
on
true
the
to them
table.
vows.
When my
That's
aunt,
right.
God rest her soul, my aunt went through sickness and she developed MS, and my uncle had to take care of her and literally feed her, bathe her, and everything. He did that without complaint all the way up until the day she took her last breath. And yeah, that's that generation. I think they really believed in the true aspect of marriage.
Hey, you know what? That's going to give me a good question when we come back from our commercial break. Are women willing these days in this generation willing to put up with the same thing that women put up with in the past?
No, we can actually enter that now. Everybody can say that.
No, we gotta wait. We gotta wait.
We gotta wait.
Thank you, Nick. Thank you, Nick. That's why you a capo. That's why you a boss over here. Like, look, we go. You know,
Say it again, listen. What?
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
You heard it right.
We're gonna do
You heard it
commercial.
right.
If you know, you know. We're gonna do commercial.
Oh, okay.
You heard it
Let's
right.
pay some
Don't
bills.
hate.
You know what I'm saying? And speaking of which, in
Okay,
honor
I
to
belongs to that.
and some sanctity of marriages and whatnot, I gotta give another shout out to my wife and her business, Conjure by Kendra, specializing in all intensive needs, including past life readings, intensive candles, and oils, body oils and yoni oils for the lady.
Wait a minute. Kendra, we gotta talk.
You know about the yonis?
You didn't
Yeah,
know
she
that we
had
was
the
there
yonis.
yesterday.
I didn't.
She was in
because I've
that
been hearing
joint
from
bottling
everybody
up like
else.
Breaking
What
Bad.
it was
You
and what
paying
she was doing.
No,
We'll be right back after this
I
commercial
figured, but I
break. More
didn't- it didn't
TMI
click in.
show on Redline Radio.
We out.
If you are a hard worker who has pride in showing up each day, then ask yourself this. Am I working somewhere that has light at the end of the tunnel? Can I stop working after 10 years and continue to receive income from my prior efforts? Or does my income stop the moment I quit working?
Will it?
There is a better way, but you have to level up and take a chance.
I shall.
Simply put, you're going to work hard wherever you go, right?
True.
Now, if that's not you, disregard this. This message isn't for you.
This
But
is
if you're going to work hard somewhere, why let someone else tell you your worth?
facts.
Why work your tail off for 30 plus years just to get the bare minimum back?
Why?
This isn't a get rich quick thing, and it's not for everyone.
It's not.
But if you're someone who's looking for an opportunity to grow
Sounds like me.
and not have your growth limited, you might be a good fit.
Contact Rodney Taylor at 216-307-0580. That's Rodney Taylor at 216-307-0580.
We'd like to take a minute here at Redline Radio LLC to thank all of our great sponsors. Detroit Auto Parts is the official parts store of Redline Radio and home of our original studio. With two convenient locations, one on the east side, you can call 216-531-7373, or on the west side, and that west side location is also the home of Redline Radio Studio number 1. You can call them at 216-398-7373. At either location, mention Redline Radio and get 10% off your purchase. Speaking of sponsors that sponsor stations, Growing Wings Adult Services is the official sponsor of the state-of-the-art Studio number 2. Growing Wings Adult Services has over 7 years experience taking care of adults with disabilities. For more information, contact Lisa today at 234-334-7547. And as testified by all their satisfied customers, Dynatech's diamond saw blades are the fastest cutting, longest lasting. Customer satisfaction is how we measure success at Dynatech, and our engineers are always available to help you troubleshoot and solve a problem on your job site. Dynatech is the only saw blade company recommended by the pavement marking manufacturing industry. They're located in Elyria, Ohio. Dynatech is committed to being the top diamond saw blade company around the world. You can contact Dynatech today at 1-800-466-9001, or you can visit their website at dynatech.com. NASCAR fans, if you're looking at getting specialized past or present NASCAR diecast and model car kits, you reach out to Pit Road Diecast. Bill Rabbits and the team are there for all your diecast needs. Call them today, 216-355-2347. Mention Redline Radio and get $5 off your in-store purchase. Let's not forget about the official merchandise provider of all things Redline Radio. That would be Incredible Keepsakes. T-shirts, cups, binders, keychains, you name it, Incredible Keepsakes can make it. The official merchandise provider for Redline Radio LLC and our show hosts. Call Mike and Diane today at 440-242-9648 or check out all their great merchandise at IncredibleKeepsakes.com. As Diane always says, cherished moments are made to last forever. Let's talk about home improvement. When we talk home improvement, we talk Wiggins Construction and Home Improvement. Bathrooms, kitchens, windows, doors, siding, radio stations, and so much more. Residential or commercial, call Will today, 440-731-7654, and tell him Redline Radio sent you. Bad Juju still remains the official band of Redline Radio LLC, covering all your favorites from the 80s and 90s. To book Bad Juju today, contact Chad Moon at 440-458-0209. Lucy's Pub is where we go when we like to unwind after a busy day. Located at 2218 Broadview Road in Cleveland, Ohio, Michelle and the staff at Lucy's are always committed to giving their guests the best experience. Join them every Friday night for karaoke and, of course, all your hometown sports games. Call them today, 216-675-0013. Stock car racing fan, I am the premier stock car racing series in Northeast Ohio, Michigan, and Indiana. Redline Radio is proud to sponsor the Ohio Wheelman Series. Still looking for sponsors for 2023? No better way to get your logo out there than on the fastest street stocks in the state. Not to mention, local racers are some of the most loyal people when it comes to supporting local sponsors. Reach out to Will Wiggins today about how you can be a part of the Ohio Wheelman Series. Driveway looking a little rough? Well, we know who to call. ACS, Affordable Concrete Solutions, LLC. Call them today at 440-714-1987 or go to their website, Affordable Concrete Solutions, LLC. You can also email them at Affordable Concrete Solutions, LLC at gmail.com. Looking to advertise with a radio station? Get a hold of Dave at Redline Radio at 440-503-0828. And for all of our programming information, check out redlineradiolllc.com. You know what else we got there? A 24-hour live radio station playing all kinds of music all day and all night. You can also check us out on social media at Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, Instagram, and of course, LinkedIn. And if you want to take Redline Radio on the go with you, download the Redline Radio LLC app on the Google Play Store.
Back the TMI show on Redline Radio, brought to you by American Life Insurance. We are back with the Battle of the Generations. Adrian is over here. She sounds like she's a mummy.
Oh my God.
Chewbacca.
Look at that. Look, that's the generation stuff right there. Okay, like old generation, they was like, oh, John. No, I'm just
well, we are back with our Battle of the Generations, and getting right back to it. Let's dive right back into the battle, folks. We're diving right back into the battle. So, as we continue to go to war, now, which generational norms would you go back to and change if you could? So let's take a step back. Let's take a step back in our mental time machine. Now, let's take a couple of responses from our audience. We're gonna take from our audiences. We asked this question on our social media throughout this week, and I'll repeat that question again.
Okay.
Which generational norms would you go back to and change if you could? And also drop a comment on our page if you want to as well, so the world can see that. So, Adrian, go ahead and give some responses from our fans this week.
Jason Walker said, living in survival mode. Sylvia Scott said, this generation of men and women changing identities and the LGBTQ plus becoming the majority. Curtis Carrington said, abortion would be first on my list. Carl Brown said, no internet.
All right.
Wait, hold
Hold
on. I
on.
was confused.
Yeah, some of those answers didn't seem like they fit the question.
They did. If you, the only one that confused.
Oh, well, actually, I get what he's saying. Like, he would
I
go
don't
back
want-
and change the abortion.
Yeah,
That's
the last
what
two.
confused me.
Yeah, the last two confused me. I didn't understand. Or they were saying that we would get rid of abortion or keep it.
Keep it.
And then I was saying we would get rid of internet or keep it. So I
Social media.
I think I think that's what he said. I feel like he
Real
said
vague.
that social media has changed the world.
I remember when social media didn't exist. We had to actually talk to each other.
Yeah, we had to ride our
And
bikes.
We had to
Yeah,
ride- we
This-
had to write to each other.
Just thinking even about how you even have to approach somebody to even ask them on a date. You literally had to go to a club, a bar,
Or write a note.
or see them out in
Do you
public.
like me? Yes, no, maybe.
You know what I'm saying? Now it's just like you hit that. You watch their status
I
and
never
see if
wrote
they're in a relationship. Wait till they change their relationship to single. Then hit
It's
their
like
inbox.
Jodeci
They don't
coming.
even-
It's like
they don't
Jodeci
even
coming
care.
talk to me.
They don't even do that. They don't even do that. Like I had
Oh,
somebody
no?
ask me, like, "Are you in a relationship?" I said, "Yes." He said, "I don't care." I said,
Wow.
"So why'd you ask?"
I mean, that would still happen if you was out in public anyway. But like, because I used to ask.
Yeah. Like,
Yeah.
so why did you ask?
Because I remember my line used to be.
I know what that means.
That's a
What is that
manipulator.
for?
But
You
the,
about
but
to
the,
pay my bill, friend?
I ain't gonna say my line.
That's a manipulator.
That's
No,
not,
but-
I need that type of friend that's
but-
gonna pay my bills.
All right, so let's go around the panel one time real quick.
Real
Quick
quick.
answers. Quick answers. What generational norms would you go back to and change if you could? We're gonna start off with Rags over here. Quick answers.
I wouldn't change any of them, even though all these generations they're all flawed. They all have issues. I grew up in all of them, and I enjoyed each and every generation.
Great answer. All right.
Lisa.
I know what she's gonna say.
Sound like R. Kelly.
That's what R. Kelly was. I enjoy each and every generation.
Where's the sneaky little guy over there?
He looks so innocent.
You gonna have to lean into it.
want to grab the mic.
Lean into it.
Grab it.
He sound like one of them uncles at the barber shop. Just grab it. Just grab it.
Way down in there. Who's that? A Medea movie? Yeah, baby. Way down in there. Come on,
Turn his head. Okay, you in time out.
Lisa,
for a
please
second.
give your answer.
Every time I
Lisa, if you need help, just
Blink twice. Blink
Blink
twice.
twice.
Just grab the mic. If you need help, just grab the mic.
I haven't done anything but just being of assistance.
All right.
Assistance.
oh, that just sounds like something
Oh, snap.
Uncle Pimp would say.
Trying to get ass into this.
Oh, snap.
So
Y'all funny.
even though I'm 30,
You get on my nerves. Now she got to take that drink now.
I don't got nothing else to drink.
Yeah.
Deli done, he don't got no drink no more.
I would want to get rid of the whoopings.
Get rid of
Whoopings, yes, because I got them all the time.
Oh,
Yeah,
So whoever
that's what's
started
up.
that era,
that came from
like
1,000 years
That came from like slavery and
No,
stuff.
that's
your
Corporal punishment.
yeah, 'cause with the switches and the what's the thing?
spit rod, spoil the child.
Stitching cords.
Yeah, everything, all of that.
Oh,
That's
man.
what I would bring back. They could have just left it at the belts.
Yeah,
Well, yeah.
They didn't have to bring
Or the house shoe. That house shoe was like, you get the point,
Yes,
but it
the
ain't
house
hurt you.
shoe.
I got the extension cord. I
My
don't want that
grandmother
again.
used to beat us with her
I remember the wet rag.
Her what?
Her chancla.
We are from the South. We got
A
big
chancla.
switches.
Oh, a shoe.
I was about
A
to
shoe.
say,
That's
down
a shoe.
south, they used to
A chanclata.
Braid
A
them.
chanclata.
Braid
Oh,
them
man.
together.
And like down
And they
south, it was
turned them
like they was
switches
going
into
for a
braided
hardcore
nails.
match. They would
Yeah.
they'll slap
was
your ass
braiding
with a
the
steel
switches.
chair. It was that good.
See,
Like,
I grew up in
The things
Cleveland.
they saying, I'm like, y'all lucky.
I
They
grew
talking
up in
about house
Cleveland, but I
shoes.
got
They
all
do
that
have
down
house shoes.
south swooping.
Mama, did you hear that? They got me
moving
with
on to
house
Steph.
shoes.
Steph, what would you change?
How nice
Or
that
what,
was.
what would you bring back? Or what, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, you can say what we can bring back.
Or what you change? However you would do it.
I would change kids being kids, like actually going outside and actually playing. Like, although it's dangerous to a certain extent, but kids don't know how to play outside. They're stuck on games.
Yep.
Like, they don't know like how to jump rope and how to ride bikes, skating, and things like that.
So, play skidball,
right,
curveball,
kickball, all of that.
Yeah,
like,
all that. Regular hide and seek, not how to go get it. Regular
that
hide
part.
and seek.
Delphs. Change that. No, I got kids, so I would change that. But
They don't know
that ain't the one I want to say.
The street lights come on.
Right.
I would say
You don't know. You don't know what to say.
Pick one.
Pick the first one to pop up.
Man, the biggest thing that I would change is how we introduce kids into sexuality.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I was gonna brush this. Every commercial.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
TV.
it's just being pushed on them.
It is.
Every direction.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It didn't used to be like that.
I would say the I would say the perversion of society. I think nowadays everybody's trying to push the envelope a little too much. You feel me? When it comes down to just being, everybody's trying to be like super over sexual. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just, you know what I'm saying? Especially like towards the kids. You feel me? Like, I agree with Delphs. That's probably the thing I would want to tone back and kind of just get back to some more wholesome things for, you know, the kids to view and look at, because they ain't got no Cosby shows no more. They don't have like really too many wholesome things that they can, like, really wholesome things. Like, nowadays wholesome is seem corny or is really cut out the picture all the way around. They don't have nothing wholesome, pure, like innocent to really time into. If you look at some of these cartoons today, you know what I'm saying? They're darker, they're twisted, you know what I'm saying? They like, even like the bad guys, like even how people perceive bad guys are now looked at as good guys. Like, when people start cheering for the Joker, like even little stuff like that in society, like, where, you know, like, I like get back to that, because I don't think the kids have really too many wholesome, innocent, you know what I'm saying, things that are for kids, just to let them be kids to turn to these days.
Yeah, sure.
I'm gonna follow up on with you two. The perversion of the minds of our children is just, and that's just the sexuality, the
Violence,
the cancel culture, the violence, how we've made the negativity be normal, and it's cool. It's cool to be bad nowadays. It's cool to get on stage and twerk with no clothes on. It's cool to be having sex at 10 years old and having babies at 11 years old. Like, I would go back and make kids, like, I'm from the generation where a child stayed in a child face. Like, I couldn't even be in the same room as adults when they was talking. So
Look.
exactly,
Right.
yeah, can't look at
Talking, you better not
Got-
be in my
It-
mouth.
it- it was-
yeah,
no,
where
seriously,
they
yeah, we
say,
need
why
more of
are
that.
you staring me in my mouth?
It was levels
Those
to it.
teachings.
Levels to it. And it
After
allowed
I
you to
get
grow
hit.
up properly.
That,
You know what I'm
that
saying?
part, after I done got smacked in the mouth, then they let me know I got smacked in the mouth because I was staring them in the mouth, and I'm
Right.
a child, and the child needs to say, that needs to be brought back to the world, because kids need to be reminded that they are kids. And if we start there and allow kids to be kids, then we don't have kids moving and acting as adults.
And not knowing how and
So
what
then-
all goes with that.
Right.
Well, I agree, because you stole my answer, and I was gonna kind of be a little bit more harsher than what you said, but you said it in a very political way. So I'm glad you said it.
They told us to clean the show up.
Yes, they had to be like, "Who is she? Get her off right now today."
I went through that.
Yeah, I agree with all of you guys as
Like,
far as like the perversion of it, just like down your throat type. Like, you don't not even giving kids a chance to just say,
Be kids.
I like this or I like that. You know, it's
I
just,
like
I
Legos.
guess I should be like this
What are we
because
talking about?
that's what
Kids
it
don't
is.
even know if they boys or girls now.
Yeah, you just don't even know what
man.
to think. And you're young and you're impressionable. You're right. You're very young and impressionable, so you just don't, and you want to be in a cool crowd. But since you guys said that, I'll go back and say communication. In communication, it has completely, totally different change. You can't even talk to people anymore without understanding where they're coming from or respecting. Like, you go first, I go next. boundaries on where communication goes to, or not being offended or upset because I even said what I said to you as a person.
That's a whole separate point. I like that you brought that up.
Sometimes you got to be corrected. Like people don't want to be corrected anymore. People don't want you to talk to them. Even my kids, I'd be like, go in there and wherever and say, da, da, da. They're like, oh,
that part.
I'm like, what the hell? Like, so y'all want to be robots nowadays? Like, you would rather talk to an AI, or you would rather, like, we need that though, because on the flip side, if you don't have communication, a lot of jobs are going to be obsolete, because a lot of jobs have to deal with people and customers and talking.
That's how they start.
That's why they building robots and stuff, and it's just crazy. I would wish that it would go back to communication, because I hate AIs. You said you wanted to do. No, I did not say that.
Right. I'm fighting with them every day.
I do not understand.
Then it hangs up.
Where somebody did mention the AI, and yeah. So
now, it's a little bit of what you said. Actually, that word wholesome. You know what I'm saying? We need to get back to more wholesome type of love. So yeah, my answer is, getting back to that real love, loyalty, commitment. You know what I'm saying? Both parties being on the same page, because I feel like everything else is gonna come naturally. You know what I'm saying? Two people know that they in love. They already know what's at stake. You already know what you bring to this table. You already know what's happening when you sitting down at it. So therefore, you know what I'm saying? Everybody else, you know what I'm saying? I mean, like, you on board with it. You know what I'm saying? Seriously, we don't have enough of that.
We don't have enough men who think like Nick, who are in love with love.
That's true.
I mean, because my thing is just like, even as a man, we face so much for having a loving heart. You know what I'm saying? We face so much backlash. It's wrong for us to even be in love. You know what I'm saying?
Like, man, listen, we gonna get
to be soft to be
you gonna get took as a mark and all that stuff. I ain't never care about that. Like, because like for real, can't nobody like I always believe in this.
I wasn't done, but okay.
No, but I'm gonna ride with what you're saying though. Yeah, I'm rocking with you. And then the answer's short and sweet. So you was going beyond the short and sweet point.
We wasn't that short and sweet.
It's all right. No, but like, you can't let nobody else crack your own nut per se. You know what I'm saying? Right. And it does that. Like, if you follow what I mean by can't nobody crack your nut. Like, look, man.
You can't make nobody make your plate.
You feel me? Exactly.
Nobody make your plate.
Like, look, I love love. I wanted to have a family and be, you know what I'm saying, be married. You know what I'm saying? You want that. And then on top of that, we want to treat the women that's in our lives good. You feel me? And
give them for a real one.
Cherish them and cherish them and really respect them. So there's nothing wrong with that.
Let's get Tim, because we want to get some more questions in, and we got to our last half hour.
Someone get back to where there was more buffets.
Facts.
So Ponderosa.
Oh man, yeah, bring back the wings. Man, remember the high school parties? Hey, look. All I'm saying is around Christmas break, we had like 150
We gotta get to Tim.
The caller is on too, by the way. Just togetherness. Honestly, I feel like, and maybe it's just me, but I feel like the family traditions of getting together has, like, yeah, they have went away a little bit. I mean, I feel like recently they have picked up a little bit more, and we could blame COVID, sure. But I feel like even though we have more access to each other, we have less communication with each other.
No, seriously.
So I feel like, and I'm a offender of that. I'm not just saying, it's just a certain amount of people. Like, I just feel like we are missing that family or that village aspect. People talk about it all the time. They say, it takes a village. It takes a village. But there's very few people trying to really get a village together.
You know why though, right? Because now it's F them kids.
Okay,
and it don't make no sense.
We got Mama Bill on the line.
No, Mom Dukes is in the building.
And she definitely wanted to make sure we got to. I said all the time. Wait. She wanted to make sure we got to these next two questions. We saved these questions for you, Mama Bill.
Hey, Mom. Hey, Mama. How you doing? Hey, Mom. How you doing?
She wasn't about to go grab them switches and whip me with it, so.
Shit. Say it again. You about to go outside.
She didn't grab some switches.
So the next two questions, we're gonna actually join them together, and we're gonna read the audience first, and then we're gonna get to our questions. Remember,
make sure you're not muted or anything like that, so we can hear you and stuff.
Let's just keep the answer short and sweet. We're down to 30 minutes, and we want to get through it. But the next two questions is, so we're gonna bring it together. What is the biggest insult and the biggest addition that this generation has added to the world when it comes to morality and life as a whole?
Oh man,
That's a loaded question.
Wait. Yeah. Well,
Like a potato.
The
Like a loaded
Kind of
asshole.
like half loaded though. Is that
The biggest insult.
My sister cooked loaded
I
potatoes tonight. It was dope. I'm sorry, y'all.
Shout out loaded potatoes.
Whoop whoop.
Shout out to the Spuds.
I'm gonna make those soon. I gotta make those.
So you can't find the other question? Ain't it on the sheet? All right. Hold on. Ask my mom that question again. All right, we got it. Okay, all right. Cool.
Okay, I found them.
All right, so let's start over.
Real
the
quick,
biggest. Yeah, you said the biggest insult, and what was the second one?
The biggest insult is your mom.
The biggest. That was your daughter. Right? That was your daughter. That was your daughter. That wasn't me. Okay. No. So what I find is.
Let me read the comments from our fans first.
What I find the biggest insult I find is the sense of entitlement.
That's a good one right there.
Yeah, I see this generation wants everything. They want it yesterday.
Yes.
Or they don't want to do what it takes to get what they want.
Yes.
Right.
And they have an extreme sense of entitlement.
Yes.
And they feel like since their parents brought them into this world, then hey, the world owes them. It's so that's what I find is the biggest insult. It's the sense of entitlement without the sense of obligation and work ethic.
Now, what about contributions, Mom? What do you think that this generation provides as a contribution to this planet?
Now, baby, listen.
Well, y'all provided me a platform to tell y'all how y'all insult us. So I mean,
That's a hard one, actually. The biggest contribution. I'm gonna have to come back to the biggest contribution.
While you come back, let me read some thoughts of our audience, and then we're gonna start off with Tim. Give you a chance to think on that. So our audience said cancel culture, seeking therapy, a lot of headaches, the LGBT community, the crime rate, AIs, stupidity and mayhem, advanced cell phones, the Kia boys.
Oh,
I'm confused.
The acceptance of using shrooms.
Whoa.
Somebody said open-minded and being challenging. Somebody said being spiritual. Somebody said making being fake cool. Somebody said that self-destruction and suicide. This was a nice one. DoorDash, Instacart, Amazon Prime.
That was a good
They said it's kind of
contribution.
like what you
Good
said, Mama Bell.
contributions.
They said you got to have everything fast. This is the generation of the microwave kids.
Actually, I was the generation of the microwave kid. This generation is more. It's even faster. It's like
Air fryer.
Yeah.
This is the toaster of
This is the click generation. This is the
Right.
as soon as I click on it.
It is really
Right.
This is the instant. What you said, the Instacart, the DoorDash.
Instant.
Okay, so that was
instant generation.
that was the
Instagram, Instacart.
That was the answers for the
where
additions.
patience is no longer a virtue.
That was the additions for the insults. Is they said, LGBT being the voice of what's right and wrong. The notion that marriage isn't relevant anymore. Screaming Black Lives Matter, but Black people killing Black people.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes.
Black on black crime.
So somebody attacked us from last week.
Oh.
He said
Attack.
he was waiting for last week. He said my comment didn't get read last week. I'm gonna read it this week. He said saying that men are insecure when we disapprove of what women are wearing and behaving provocatively in public and twerking on
You didn't have to read that one. Okay.
Man, you sound light skinned.
He do.
That man sound light skinned.
That situation is that women wear what they want to wear, and
They
feel
said, case in
comfortable
point,
in their skin.
keep pointing out Kiki Palmer.
Change the women that you
So we
dealing
read
with.
you this week.
It's the woman that you choose, my
You
friend.
can't expect her
Somebody
to be
said
a-
the insult of morality.
That period.
Somebody said that kind of like what Mama Bill said, the concept that my reality is reality, and you have to accept my reality for what it is. And yeah, so that. So
We had I gotta read this one. They help find new revenue streams without having to punch a clock by
Yes.
making videos and content.
Or anything, period. Because
This-
that's a big one where you get going to
And that's an
music
addition.
stream and all that stuff. But now these contributions to these kids they're thinking a different way.
They taking ownership of their
they're taking
creativity.
ownership to their creativity. They're not allowing someone over here
Right.
to tell them yes.
Now
you
that's
know,
one
you can't do it,
contribution.
yes, you can,
One,
no, you can't.
contributions
They're
that
just
we
doing
are that people are serving because
That
now
came from my wife.
they a contribution, like I say, this generation is it's allowing everybody to really have a voice. You know what I'm saying? Like back in the day, everybody didn't have a voice. You know what I'm saying? Like nowadays, you do
had a voice. It just it wasn't important to use it.
No. It was hard to even get access to get your voice heard. Nowadays, there are so many different opportunities and different ways for people to have their voice heard now than in the past, and I think that's a huge contribution. Because here's the thing, the contribution is because back in the day, before we had camera phones and things of that nature, how many cops was out here killing black folks and beating us and getting away with it? They wasn't seen. You feel me?
But hold on. On the flip side, though, people abuse that and try to make anything into it's Black Lives Matter. Look at this person. Look, they're just doing their job.
I mean, but
your job,
there's always going to be a
sense of
negative end with the
entitlement,
positive.
like
But
they
the
said,
whole thing is now like you have more people that like because it's like honestly more police brutality is broadcast on a nationwide sense than locally. You know what I'm saying?
I think that
But
speaks to what you
brut-
said.
Yeah.
As far as like no generation is better.
Okay,
It's good and bad with
I'm
all
gonna put a
of them.
pause on your thoughts.
Very true. That's
Put
how I look.
pause on your thoughts because I did promise him that he would go first.
You promised him? Why are you making promises to Tim?
Because he decided whether or not he cut the cameras or the microphones or not.
Does he?
Yeah, he do.
Surprised you ain't big microphone.
He really cut our mic.
All right, Tim, you apocalyptic DJ. You Kim Jong-un of the ones and twos. North Korea over here. The North Korea ISO.
Whatever to get you remember me, nigga.
Whatever. I remembered you today. Let's go. Say your answer. You ain't even got it.
I did have it. No, but so basically,
You drink your whiskey.
just awareness in general. I feel like one thing that was brought into it, I should say, that more awareness. Yes, it's more eyes. So you can't, there's more stuff that is more dark that's brought into the light per se.
Yeah. Right.
But more knowledge is also poured into us in general.
Open-mindedness, more education, things of
good
that
or
nature.
bad
More people are
knowledge.
going to college.
Constructive or destructive knowledge. It's still being poured.
It's
at
still
an
being
excessive
poured
rate.
as right, which we didn't have. I'll just say 20 years ago.
Facts.
We
They
didn't. It's that time. It's just that time.
It's summertime.
Stay on task, people.
But
Generations of flies.
just access to a lot more things. And like somebody said, the therapy, being more open to therapy, being more open to just being more open, willingly being able to be able to say your side, being able to communicate. I think that is more the focus now. Of course, with parents, like you said, you do what I say, not what I do.
Do as you told. Not as you
Right. We couldn't speak back to our parents.
Kids couldn't express themselves back then. Now,
Exactly.
Because here's the thing. Now we all
This nigga
strive
cut
for
me
like
off
more
every
discipline
time
and
just to
things
let
of
y'all
that
know.
nature. My bad.
Don't feel
My bad. But I'm pulling my host card here.
I got the mics, nigga. I just
I'm pulling my host card.
he said,
Oh, so you gonna pull that card, Tim? We
like number two.
gonna talk after the show.
You didn't interrupt me both times, nigga. Oh,
No,
both
I'm
times.
piggybacking.
I don't even talk that
I'm not
much.
interrupting. I'm
Why you on my
piggybacking.
back?
It's a
Because it's
difference.
big enough? Fuck you.
It's a difference. You ain't supposed to use the F word on air anymore.
My bad. I was
I'm gonna
hurt.
dock you $5 for that. Tim,
I was
or
hurt.
5 wings. I'm gonna feed it to my dog.
I was hurt.
Make you watch it.
Sorry, mama. I didn't mean to say that, mama. I
No, but to
apologize.
piggyback off of what you're saying though, like in today's generation, there is a lot more like because like back in the day, kids, you know what I'm saying, they couldn't express themselves for real as much as they had, as much as they wanted to, as much as they should. You know what I'm saying? It was a lot more.
Are you choking?
Dang, bro, what you just said just brought light to something.
It was a Dorito. No, because
Ain't no more Doritos.
I wanted to piggyback off of that too, though.
No, it's not the ranch.
But hold on. I gotta say this though.
Stephanie, y'all keep sitting me across.
What you said just brought light to something, because it's like, you know how kids act when they shelter.
I can't sit across from them.
Our generation is the shelter kids.
Yes.
We are.
And
We
then
just
they get
wilding
outside
out.
and they wilding out. And that's the thing about like do as I say, not as I do. It's good.
Yeah,
on one
I
side,
appreciate
it's
do as I
bad
say.
on the other
It's not
side
our age
because
Because now you just shaking
because
up
guess
that pot.
what? Now we raised our kids to be like, no, you ain't got to do this and you ain't got to do that.
And I was
but then it
backfired. Yeah,
And
we
you like,
came.
whoa, wait a minute,
we-
I didn't mean it that.
We came up from the age of do as I say, not as I do, and we wanted to be. We was like we didn't like it,
We
so we
didn't
want
like it.
we want our kids to be different. Now
Yes,
it's backfiring.
Now it's backfiring.
Because
Now y'all
if we
see
would
it.
have
Now they
disciplined
going
our
too
kids
hard
more,
on it.
and if we would have let our kids,
because my son would.
we would have
Wait,
let.
how old is he?
We're gonna move on to the next.
Kids don't.
Let's
don't
move on
have
to the
their-
next
you know what I'm
question.
saying, had their childhoods.
Let's move on to the
They
next
gotta-
question.
They gotta grow up.
Because it was do as
Uh,
I say, not
Adrian?
as I do. My
Hey,
mother, she used to try to keep me in the house all
We're gonna
the
move
time.
on to the next
You can't
question.
go outside. You can't do that. You can't do that.
But then we, as adults, we see the safety of it. So we're gonna get this next question in. This is a fun one.
Uh-oh.
Just so because we're coming up on the last 20 of the show, so we want to end it with some
I'm on
fun.
my
The
10%.
last 20.
What?
I'm on my 10% on my phone. Wrap it up. Wrap up music. No, I'm just saying.
Which generation had the best music and dance? The 60s, the 70s, the 80s,
Us.
Hey, mom, you
the
go.
90s,
Mom, take this
the
first.
new millennium.
I'm on my mom's and grandma's answers first
Wait,
because
wait,
they've
y'all
been around.
didn't even let me finish the question.
You ain't have to finish 90s.
Or the current generation.
Oh, man. I thought about you though.
Who had the best music
Wait,
generation?
can I read this?
Music or dance?
So we're gonna go to our social media comments, and then we're gonna get my mom's, then we're gonna get Uncle Rags,
Because
then
they
we're
the
gonna go
oldest, yeah.
because they've been around for more generations of music than us. They have
But
like
wait,
So shouldn't they go
but
last?
that's not a good way to
Man,
go because
look,
they're
y'all can't tell me which way to go.
I'm sorry.
They gonna get a whole
B playing his card today, ain't he?
He said I'm the host.
He playing his
This
card.
my show.
No,
He
you right.
is playing that
You
card.
have to say though, like
Said
back
nothing but a
then, it was
gangster.
only
Selena was like, I'm
choices.
still gonna go
It
first.
was only so many choices though.
That's true. They didn't have like
But they've been around long
Spotify.
enough to know that.
and you couldn't stream music.
But it was
You
so
actually had to
many
get a record
choices.
deal to get your record played nationwide.
Right.
Nowadays, you can just be on YouTube
That's
and the
why
whole world hears you.
Yeah.
You don't even need. You don't need a record deal.
And I respect that
Artists.
generation.
You had to
More
work.
than I do
You actually had to
ours.
work.
Okay, so are you saying which one is easier or which one was better?
That's all right there. Music is a very sensitive topic.
Mama trying to talk.
Sorry.
No, I was asking, so are you saying which one was easier or which one was better?
Which
Repeat the
generation?
question.
Go ahead, repeat the question.
Oh, I mean, without a doubt, you can't beat the older generation because number one, today you guys don't even play instruments. Nobody plays their own music. Nobody actually, very few artists write their own music, play instruments. Very few bands play instruments. You can't beat the Motown era. You can't beat. I mean, come on.
Hold up, no.
Oh,
yeah,
shout out to
Motown.
Motown.
You can't beat the 70s. You can't beat the lyrics we had. You can't beat the musicians, the writers. I mean, come on. It's really no contest. It's really no contest.
All right, I'm gonna pause y'all.
It's very few artists.
Our audience recognize. So we're gonna get our audience in. So most of our audience said it's a tie between the 70s and the 90s.
Oh, I like the 90s. Shout out to the 90s, man.
Shout out to the 90s.
Hats off to
You know
the
it's gonna be
90s. The 90s went hard.
The golden era.
The 70s and the
70s
90s.
was wrong.
Someone said so. Akira said,
Yeah.
Let me read
Music
that.
and
Hey, I gotta be.
Oh, wait.
The 80s minus disco.
Wait, let me read. Let me get the audience out of the way.
Let's go to the audience. We're gonna go to the audience. Hold on, y'all. All right, audience. Let's go.
So Akira said, honestly, the 70s, after watching Soul Train, them MFers,
I caught myself. I'm so proud of me. Was getting all the way down. You hear me laugh out loud, but also I give it to them because they made positive songs and pure dance music. They got some wild songs, but majority I've ever heard were songs to dance and whatever, slow and fast. Seth, you definitely got in on this. You said the 80s babies.
Give us two more.
That was basically.
Oh, that was it. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Cool.
Yeah, I just broke it down.
All right. So, moms, you gave your answer. You know what I'm saying? The old
Yeah,
school.
it's definitely,
Now, let me ask you this. I'm gonna get let's get a
60s,
little bit deeper.
60s,
Out of this
70s.
old school generation, what do you consider? What do you consider old school? Like, is it? Are we talking like what is the? Where do you stop at old school? Is it like 80s and
Where
back?
I stop at old school would be like late 60s, 70s. To me, that's old school.
Like so, 60s and 70s, you consider the golden era of music.
What? I got a question for your mama. So do you
I ain't like how you say your mama.
Your mama, no, I'm just Irene. So like you know how like my generation, we go. I don't know about everybody else. I can't speak for everybody else, but like my generation, I'd be like, okay, the 70s, the 60s, that's like R. Kelly, the 90s. Do you go back to like the 20s or the 30s, or do you have
because I consider that. Yeah, I mean, back in the swing era and the jazz and all of those guys, big band. You know, that it was a different type of music, but yeah, that was still great music. And like when my mom, they used to listen to Jackie Wilson and those guys. So I can go back because their music was like from the 50s and 40s. So I grew up, as far as when I was growing up, I was listening to Jackie Wilson and the beginning of the Temptations and Wilson Pickett and Sam Cooke. My mom was playing that kind of music, so. And then, I was fortunate enough to have big sister. So then, when the Jackson 5 and Marvin Gaye and that came in, in the 70s. So, I mean, the artists that we listened to, they had been out for years, like when you guys talk about the Temptations, I mean, my God, Temptations started way back in the 60s. So, So all of that is just timeless music. I think a lot of the music today is like here today, gone tomorrow. It's not really anything that's
crazy.
timeless.
So you take this generation today, right? Now,
say what?
Go back to the 60s, right? That's 50 years ago. You know what I'm saying? 60 years ago, back in the 60s. That's 60 years ago, right? Now, say for instance, if you were a kid that was growing up in the 70s, what music were you listening to from 60 years ago?
Right.
You feel me? Like that was you. That means you was listening to music from like the 1910s.
Right.
Like,
No. When in the 70s, we was in the 70s we were listening to.
Time range, like the music.
I'm saying what my parents played. So I was listening to their music and our music.
That little meme that said if you woke up on Sunday morning and your mama was playing Motown, you knew it was time to clean.
Right. What was they playing?
Right.
Yeah, like
get on your hands and knees with the toothbrush.
With that time being the 70s and 90s, because a lot of 90s music had samples of 70s.
You and my mom, you and my mom, y'all came from that. Y'all in that same generation era.
He said, "Don't tell his age."
You know what I mean? I ain't about to say it. I'm just saying y'all in the same generation era. Y'all both experienced music from the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, and y'all had the opportunity to experience music even more than us from before those generations, from the 50s and 40s and things of that nature. So from your perspective, sir, because both of you two are the only ones that experienced music for over,
I'm like, please do, because I wouldn't know what it sounded like.
What, you know what I'm saying? How do you feel about it? Speaking to the mic though. Yeah, you got to do the mic shit now. I mean,
like, man, you supposed to do
that. He did the way. Why he did that?
Lisa was looking at him. Your turn.
I feel the same way. I mean, I remember Nat King Cole.
I watched
that. Was my
dad's
homeboy.
Right. I swear.
Those guys, those were the musicians that set the tone for music the way it is today.
Charles. Hey.
Ray Charles.
Yes.
Well,
That's
no,
way
not-
far back.
that's
I
not-
just
that's
was
not
saying
good.
that
That's not
like
good.
fake.
That's
Smokey
not-
Robinson.
She's showing me something
Smokey.
like- no, the great
I don't think
dancing.
he's that old.
Smokey
No,
Robinson
that's
was
not-
not that.
that's-
I don't think
that's-
Smokey
that's-
Robinson was
that's-
that. I think
No, I
Smokey
mean,
Robinson was born around the 1960s.
you know, when-
No, I just named the old
50s
artist.
area.
I remember.
Probably like 70.
Smokey Robinson was Motown. Was basically Motown.
Let me just
Y'all
say-
y'all the historians, so
Let me
please
just-
tell
let
us.
me
I'm
just-
setting up right now. Everybody
let
be
me just
quiet.
say- Let me just say this: the music that they're playing today, it's not even music anymore.
Right.
The music that in the 60s, the 70s,
They had to
I say
play
the
it.
60s
That
and the
was real
70s,
music.
they still playing.
Mm.
You can still hear that music. You can still hear Marvin Gaye today, and it is just
Oh,
as
yeah.
relevant
Yes.
then.
And you know what I equate
as it
music
is
today to jingles. You know what I'm saying? They remind me more of jingles. Like real quick, catchy. It's like you trying to sell a commercial. Like you trying to sell a hamburger.
You know who that person is for right now, and then next week is gonna be somebody
else. You know what I mean?
Dominique got a question for Rags.
Okay, so Dominique got a question for Rags. Read this question off Dell's or Steph.
Yes,
Steph,
he
you got it.
The
You got it.
Rags, have you ever been to Studio 54? Ask
Yes.
for Kendra.
Oh, Studio 54 in New York?
Absolutely.
No, I haven't been
Oh, I was wrong.
I was hoping to be.
The way he shook his head though, that's a yes no.
I've been to a lot of studios in Hollywood, California.
No.
I thought that was your neck.
Hold on.
Have you ever been to Area 51 then?
No.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, okay, another question though that I have. Okay, so back then, I know it was just only a little bit of music choices that you could choose from. But did you stick to like the black artists more so, or did you like stick to the white artists, or was it like a combination?
There's a lot of choices. Where you think it was limited? There's a lot of choices. You had blues, you had rock and roll, you had R&B, you even had like your Elvis Presley. I mean, it was so much music. I mean, me and my sisters used to watch Elvis Presley movies on Saturday, and we loved his music. A little bit of the Beatles, and
I got a question.
In the 60s,
how did y'all feel about Elvis at the time that he was popping?
Right, that type stuff.
Right.
In the 50s, I used to go to the movies and watch Elvis do the Jailhouse Rock.
Okay.
So I used to go to and see him on the big screen. And then again,
was y'all aware of his piracy?
On a just a little side note, I grew up in Palm Springs, California, where the playground of the rich and famous in the 50s. So Elvis Presley hung out in Palm Springs.
Okay.
My brother saw him. Steve McQueen, all these guys, all the musicians, anybody that was anybody. They came to Palm Springs. My mom worked for Frank Sinatra, for him. So all these guys, these were popular musicians, and the music and the dancing.
Right.
Of course, we had different dances. We had a lot of
Swing dancing is fun.
opportunities to do all kinds of. I mean, in the 60s, I'm an old ex-hippie from the 60s. Oh my gosh, there's Jimi Hendrix.
Awesome.
There's
And then you have to remember, in the 60s there was a lot of crossover from black music to the white artists, and there was a lot of like music, theft and things like that, and taking the black music and turning it to white music and things like that. So
mainstream white population, yeah.
You had like the Four Tops,
Was it just because
Oh,
of
I
the
can
type
remember
of
them in
music that they were
Compton High.
playing, or like
So
the
here-
beats
here's
of the
one-
music, or was it just like the style?
Okay,
or-
so wait, we want to get in one more question before we end the show.
Here's one of our main questions. Now, do you think we are better as a society or worse as a society over the last 100 years? Do you think we have
worse,
improved or got worse as a society?
worse,
over 100 years?
worse. Easy, worse. And I'll just give you just one little example.
Just give me the one word, either worse or better. Either worse or better.
Okay.
I'm gonna read
Worse.
comments off of the question on our social as well. So, Mom, we're gonna start with you first. Do you think
worse or
society
better?
has improved or got worse over the last 100 years?
It's worse.
Better, no
Worse.
wise.
I'm ambivalent.
Ambivalent.
Do you think society has got worse or better over the last 100 years?
Well, you only 30.
Only
so-
30.
Here it comes.
30.
Yeah, I'm gonna fight you, bro.
Y'all knew that was about to happen.
I'm to that question.
Y'all read no history books or nothing?
Our history.
I mean, it's a really two-part question. Worse in some ways, better in others. So
Between the
Steph,
generations,
do you-
though.
Yeah, that her
Yeah.
generation
That's
of,
the generation
learning
gap,
is different
right,
from
it's
ours.
different.
Steph,
I mean, you can't even be mad
you in
about
the middle,
that.
so you ambivalent.
Yeah.
Okay, Dales.
Don't say I'm only 30 because I punch you.
Right. Thump your nose.
I'm only always almost 31, so I don't.
Almost only 31.
But you just
No, but I mean, from my opinion, I would say it got worse just because I feel like I should have been born in the 70s, but the mind state like
So cool. You should have been born then.
look
I
at
really
bags
wish I
like I'm
was.
yeah.
I mean, yeah, it's
Born in the 70s.
Go ahead,
They
B.
didn't have no more
All right,
70 slots when I was picking my reincarnation.
Shut the fuck up.
My answer is honestly, in certain areas we got better, in certain areas we got worse. You know what I'm saying? That's just what it is.
Yeah, that's why I remain ambivalent.
But ambivalent because, like,
Yeah.
you know, yeah.
No, I know why.
Same me. I'm the same. We got better in some areas. We got worse in some.
Selena.
we're worse in more areas than we are better. I mean, the only thing we're better at are things like technology. That's medical. Help medical. Our medical system has not gotten as far as it could be because of greed. So, I mean, really, in so many ways, it's worse in more ways than it is better.
It is worse in more ways than it is
I can
better.
say, yeah, we can say that. Yeah.
Go ahead, Nick. What's your
After
answer?
further reevaluation, I say both because
Yeah.
bad things you got some things that have been improved. So.
And because here's the
So
thing, let me
most
ask
of
y'all
y'all
a
ain't
question.
gotta-
Wait,
Like
Tim. Wait.
Oh, Tim. Yeah, Tim. I didn't want to forget you, Tim.
You did.
He said, I like how you try to clean it up.
Right.
All right, good answer, Tim. All right, moving on. All right.
That part.
Was that your answer?
You said go ahead. Go ahead.
Go ahead. No,
what's
you.
your answer?
What's your answer?
I'm in the middle.
Man, all y'all some fence riders.
All right, so let me ask y'all these generational questions then. All right. So would you rather take?
The only person who caught that.
All right, cool. So here's the thing. What would you like if you could go back? If we could swap certain things out, right? So what would
Wait,
you?
can we give?
Oh, well, we're gonna go to our audience. Oh yeah, we got some audience responses. So we're gonna go to our audience responses before we move on. And we got 5 minutes or so left.
Most of our audience said worse.
Yeah.
And one person said better. We can get to know people better from all over the globe, and we can try to be the better planet by recycling. And people of color of skin or nationality, and even sexual orientation. So they said like it's more opportunities regardless of your sexual orientation, your color, your preferences, whatever. So
because we could go back. If we go back 100
feel
years or so,
You didn't
women
have
were
that
getting
choice.
murdered for being too smart, and they were being accused of being a witch.
Black women
That was
couldn't-
a crazy time. Do anybody want to go back there?
And then black women couldn't be anything. And then people,
60 years ago, black women couldn't vote.
Period.
people in the
And they
LGBT
trying to bring that
community,
back now 'cause you know
people in the
ballot
LGBT
Roe versus
community
Wade.
was getting killed. So
So it's just like both. It's like
both,
some
because-
things is good, some things is
Yeah.
bad.
Because here's the thing, I know for damn sure. Because like growing up, I have a good, and I'm blessed to have this. I have a good mixed assortment of friends from different cultures and different nationalities. I wouldn't trade racism and going back to like segregation days for missing out on the opportunity to make those relationships and meet those really dope people.
Yeah.
Because like and just speaking on which, like, you know. And this is just what it is.
Ain't that crazy though?
Because, like, honestly, the only people that's ever threatened my life, you know what I'm saying, or spoke to me any type of disrespectful manner has been my own people. You feel me? Like, that's messed up, right?
Let's be honest. Because you from the South, and growing up from the South, we was taught like that they was our white skin cousins was our enemies. So like our grandparents and our great grandparents, they didn't never.
I wasn't even taught that. Like, my
true.
grandfather's one of his good friends down south was a
But
white
yeah,
dude.
I was
One of my
saying-
best friends was a white friend.
But once my grandma
Can't make
came
people
here,
feel like it's a divide. You can't make people feel like that.
And it's a difference between
What's
a
my-
black Puerto Rican and a white Puerto Rican. So I had to deal with that being a black Puerto Rican, growing up in a whole family full of white Puerto Ricans. My
Yeah.
mama
I see
white,
your
my brother's
family.
white, my cousin's white, everybody's
Everybody
white,
white.
except for me. And I'm just like, I had to grow up.
And then we also got to look at it like this too.
And that's where it got worse because it's all about family. So you still got the same
So
blood.
this
I had
one
to
thing.
grow up like
This
really like.
This one thing about generations that I wanted to point out though.
You know I'm
This
not
one thing I
lying.
wanted to point out though about generations though. In the generation that we live in, right? The generations that became before us. Do we think as this current generation they bear any responsibility for the current situations in the state is in the state in the state that the world is in today?
I don't.
Yes.
They support.
Well,
they should bear
one thing, yeah, because
I'm talking about from economy wise, social wise.
I was talking majority.
Because here's the thing, right? We didn't. What generation came up with nuclear weapons?
They did.
That been though.
But
That's
what
been
I'm
going
saying. It
on
was the generation
for so
before
many.
ours,
That was
right?
like
For so
That's
many,
what he's
yeah.
saying. That's what he's saying. Should do
They
the
just got
generations
better.
do, even though it's our the generation we living in right now is chaotic. It's crazy. It's like we like, oh my God, let's erase it and start over. But what he's saying is
We're just
do
an
our
amplification.
Does the previous generations bear any responsibility
lead up to this.
of what's going on today?
Yes.
Right?
Previous
Oh,
generation,
even including our
lead up
generation
until
led up
this.
to this.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because here's the
All
thing.
of
Our
Responsibility.
political
We have to take responsibility.
our political, because here's the thing. The previous generations, you want to know why the planet and pollution is such a bad thing now? Because previous generations took the planet for granted. You know what I'm saying? All the pollution, like we talk about 70s to 80s, they was dumping all different types of stuff all up in the oceans, messing it up from beyond that, right?
Right.
Cigarettes, for God's sakes. What was put out here, it wasn't our generation. Our generation currently, the generation currently is trying to stop smoking. The generation previous was giving you commercials about smoking. The generations previous,
Surgeon warning, Surgeon General warning.
you feel me? The generation previous, where did like the free love generation? Cool, free love, right? But think about all the STDs and all the drug addicts that came out of that. Heroin, crack was in the 80s. They was the generation that accepted because we like to say that
crack was in the 80s,
we like to say that
cocaine was in the 70s. So 70s it was cocaine, but it was very expensive. Meth has always been. It's just meth has always been, but it's just a lot of people wasn't into it because it was just cocaine.
It was done by certain people.
Generation previous set up private prisons.
Hold on.
Generations previous.
Certain races did certain drugs.
I love y'all.
Certain races did certain drugs.
Wait. It's time to wrap it up.
Safe set.
And this is great. And this is great. And I love the energy in the room. And I love where we're going, right? So I just asked B, can we make an executive decision? And we bring it back next week with the same cast.
You gonna do part 2?
And we're going to keep that conversation going.
I would say yes.
Yes.
So
we bring it back next week. We're gonna get more in depth with it.
Too much.
We bring it back. We bring it back the same.
Too much
cast.
information.
Can the cast commit? Can I get the cast commit? Can we commit? Lisa, can we
Welcome
commit?
to the
Who
team.
can commit to next week? We going back to battle.
Bring it back. Don't do me.
It's all good.
Don't do me.
So look, we like to thank our audience for coming out, listening to us. Moms, I want to say thank you. You know what I'm saying? Thank you for coming in today and giving us your expertise. We want to say thank you to
Bringing you back next week
our
too.
family at Redline Radio. Thank you to our audience. Next week, we're going to be right back again. We're going to finish the battle of
Next
the
week we're talking
generations.
cancel culture because we didn't get a chance to talk to it about it.
It's a lot of things we didn't get to.
A lot of our audience asked us to talk cancel culture.
Yeah.
So we heard y'all. Cancel. So we heard y'all. We don't want y'all to think we ignored y'all. Next week we bring it back the same cast. We talking generational battles, and we talking cancel.
She's so excited.
I'm so drunk. I ain't gonna even lie to y'all. I wanna. It's okay. It's tequila. It's the tequila.
TMI. It's not.
Energy.
If we
We're drinking nothing but water on
it
here.
would be TMI if we didn't.
We're drinking nothing but H2O. All right, yeah, Adrian, move out the way real quick. All right, so yeah, we like to thank everybody for checking out our show. We're going to see y'all next week. We're going to see y'all next week. We want y'all to have a safe week. We want y'all to enjoy your week. I love, all right,
I didn't cut it.
Shout out to my daughter. Love you. Happy birthday,
Happy
boo.
birthday, Mohana.
Yeah, y'all. Y'all know how we come to
We'll
TMI.
see y'all next
Look out
Saturday.
for us.
The
Cleveland
TMI
All-Stars.
show on Redline Radio.